This one's for the stolen voices, my people that ain't got much traces. Trapped in the belly of the beast, everywhere is beef and there's never ever peace. Every day is peak and I never get to speak. Living in the Elmos, never get to see. Sitting in a cell, feeling like you're never gonna leave, but you can't sleep cause you got beef with the bread underneath of the bunk. Man, the truth in my speech is abundant. I don't need a reason to keep it 100. The government declared a war on the man. So this ain't a song, it's a glorious anthem to rep for the group that is normally abandoned. The poor is ignored when they're stranded. From Lagos to Kingston, Norwich to Camden, against all odds, of course we are champions. I'm the voice of Trayvon, I'm the voice of Stephen Lawrence, I'm the voice of Tupac, with no thug life engraved on my stomach. I'm the voice of a runaway slave, holding a blade and facing a musket. Been a victim of the system too long, we get tired of waiting for justice. The voice of Fred Hampton Sr., killed for defending the people, and the right to exercise freedom of speech. We just want to be treated as equal. I'm the voice of the mums and the ones that pray for unity in the community. I'm the voice of the young trying to escape the slum, but they can't find the opportunity.
So much to say, but not enough. We hear the cries calling from the skies above, saying it's okay, speak your mind, open your heart, don't let no one add you to others.
Hey Jeds, take it away, please.
Right, so yeah, like I was saying anyway, the thing I wanted to bring up today, or I wanted to kind of start it off with, wanted to ask everyone's opinions, individual opinions, on what freedom was to them, and how you attain freedom if you don't have it, and if you do have it, how do you keep hold of it? So it's like a three-part kind of thing, but it's basically, what is freedom to you? And do we have it? Or do you have it? Starting with Monks.
I think freedom's like it's a perception. I don't think it's a literal thing, because freedom could be measured in like many different ways. So it's like a perception. It's your perception. So you could even say like you're living, you're at home, you've got your own place, you've got your own stuff. You could believe that you're free to an extent, like you're at your parents' home or something. Or say like your belief system, you could believe in say like a God or something, and you could believe that makes you free to say what is happening around you. But then on the other hand, like when something goes wrong or something, that could easily change. I think it's just your mind, it's a perception. It's just the way you look at things. It's like we're not, all of us here, we're not bound by anything.
So when you say it's a perception, does that mean that is? Are you saying that it's not real, or are you just saying that it's wholly subjective?
I just think it can't really be. I think it can't really be defined. Really, like so, I could say I'm free. Someone could look at me and say, "No, you're not." Like. So it's like, are we thinking personally? Are we thinking what people
That's
think?
with anything. It could be like you could. So look, freedom. You see that? I didn't even see. Did you see that? Yeah. I didn't see shit. I didn't even cut this the whole time.
Be down to what you believe in as well, because people could be like a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Physical, spiritual. Some people think there's nothing spiritual. Don't even exist.
I was thinking like lifestyle. Like, that's the first thing that popped into my mind. I was thinking about lifestyle.
But then there's still different degrees of it. There's even down to the clothes we wear. We go into a shop and we've got a certain selection of clothes. Like, some people, or I would think, like, that's not even freedom, because this is what we have to choose from. So we don't really have the freedom to do what we really want, what we really think, what we really feel, because it's being conditioned, say, from whenever. But someone else might think, it's free, you've got a choice.
I think because of choice you're not free.
You think because of choice?
Because of choice you're not free.
What, the selection of choices you have, or just
because of the concept of choice and everything it stands for. So I don't think people are free because of choice.
I think we're not free because we don't know what it's like to be free. Like
what back to you said earlier, it's relative, isn't it? In terms of what freedom is to say. But I'm like, what if choice was the reason you wasn't free? Because who decided that you have to choose? Why do you have to choose? What is the purpose of that?
What is the opposite of not having choices?
Why is there not?
Someone chooses for you, right?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is if you don't have choice, have you had anything outside of choice?
Which is what?
No, I'm asking.
No, but like for you to pose the question, what is the alternative?
No, it doesn't mean I have the answer. I'm just asking. That's what I'm asking, because I don't have the answer. Have we been outside of choice? Do we know what that is? Does it even exist?
Yeah. I think
because all I know is choice. That's why I'm saying that. I don't know what's on the other side of not having a choice.
Yeah, I think that we're. Sorry, let me just get everyone else's definition of freedom first. What's your definition of freedom?
It's kind of similar to what he said.
Yeah.
But it is down to your mentality and what you perceive it to be at the end of the day. Like for me, being free is not having the attachments that has been conditioned for me to have. Like for instance, to have like a mobile phone, to have a car, like all of these things for me and how we get them in this society is not true freedom, because that's how you become in debt. That's how people benefit off of you. But we feel that we need these things for us to feel that we are successful. But for me, that's not freedom. Freedom is not being attached to anything, especially in the physical, because I'm a bit spiritual.
Jeez.
Okay.
I think I'd say freedom for me is a mixture of everything that I'm hearing. For me, freedom is having the ability to make your own choices, to be able to find your own path and not have it be dictated to you. And the minute it's been dictated or the minute you're being manipulated, I feel like your freedom has been taken. So I wouldn't say we have freedom, because we're always being manipulated through the media, through the news, through everything. We're always manipulated. So we're not free. No matter how rich we are or how poor we're in a system which means we are not able to be free.
You are able to be free if you allow yourself to see for what it is and break out of it.
But you got to literally take yourself out of the world.
You don't have to take yourself out of the world. You just need to see what you are doing, be the observer, and not be the participant, not be the one who's like, going along with what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all it is. You just have to be aware.
But in that same sense, you can be aware and know, okay, this is gonna stop my freedom, or this is gonna help my freedom. But yet there are still things that are stopping it. So what do you do then? And how do you get, how do you get your freedom if someone's still stopping you from getting it?
But even outside of that sort of system sort of thing, you say like you just live on a farm and your parents are like cow herders or something, and then you grow up and then you take on the same things. Like, does that person have freedom? There's no choice there really. That's all that there is for them to do. There's no, say, government or system that's oppressing them, that's making them do this. But just because of family and what your father.
But I think that's.
I'm just saying, it's just for the word freedom, like to say.
I hear what you're saying. I think that is more like a thing of where you inherit culture, or you inherit the way of life of your people is slightly different from an outside force trying to dictate what you did. Like for instance, if you inherited the whole farming thing, and then you decided, well, do you know what, I want to dance, because you said dance, so you want to dance. So say you don't want to farm no more, you want to dance, and then you go and try and pursue that, and then someone tries to stop you. That's when your freedom is taken. So this is where the society comes into it. As in, if you're in this society and you try to do something outside of it, if you are stopped in any way, if anyone tries to encroach on your ability to say, do you know what, I've been going left the whole time, I want to go right, that's when you lose your freedom. If you just do what you always thought was normal and you never questioned it, then you are free, but you're just not exercising your...
But to what, sorry, I don't even know your name, Jay. To what Jay said, as in to say, if something's being manipulated, then it's not freedom. Like, if an idea is put into you, or you're getting an idea through something that you've seen or heard or felt or smelled or whatever, then that means that it's being manipulated in some way for you to choose what you're choosing.
I don't know, man.
No, back to the point.
Is that an idea?
When you said that's exactly what I was going to say. I have a problem with choice. The fact that I have it, do you know what I'm saying? It's an interesting space when we say choice, because are we emulating these ideas that have been put into us? Like, when I was young, I said, I want these music business. Where did I get that from to decide and say I'm free to pursue that? Now I'm saying, and it's a conversation I always had with Illa, was like, we believe choice was the issue, because the choice was the evidence of lack of freedom, because you had the choice. Because then my question is: have you lived outside of choice,
No, but
or have you lived
that's
outside
why
of a
his point
problem?
was deep as well.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said, what is there? Like,
That's what I'm saying. I want to explore that because I'm like, what is there? Because I feel that's where freedom is if it relied on what was there in the unknown of living outside of this contextual reality or living outside of that. Because then innately you have things you can do that's never been done before.
It's funny for me to interject, right? So if you're living outside of choice, the closest thing, maybe it's an extreme, but slavery, you have no choice.
So you think it's one or the other?
But you got choice to comply or die, though.
Right, you say that, but if you're conditioned to think that you have no choice, then you have no choice. Again, it goes down to thought.
The condition is one thing.
That's
you do have a
imposed.
choice.
That
You
condition
do
is
have a
imposed.
Right, but again,
But that
What's
takes
about-
away your choice.
Yeah.
so if you don't think you have a choice,
Right.
you are living in the realm of not having choice.
So I'm saying, so not having choice, everything comes with opposites, so they come as a package to me. Not having choice and having choice come as one and the other. You can't have one without the other because one is evident of the other.
Which is why I was saying.
Right?
So what
But
is
I'm
the
saying,
opposite
if you
of
remove
choice?
the concept of choice completely as it never exists,
You always
for
have a
example.
choice.
So
You always have a choice.
No, I agree with that. I agree with
You
that.
always
I'm
have a
saying-
choice. The thing is, when
Yeah.
someone limits the field of choices you're allowed to make, that's when the freedom is inhibited. You always have a choice.
What about just
gun
being?
to your head?
Wait, what
gun
about
to
just
your head.
being?
What are you gonna do? Gun to your child's head. What are you gonna do?
No, what about just being, Jeddah? What about just being?
What do you mean?
Just being. Have you ever explored the concept of just being? Because if I'm a
Yeah,
human,
but you're trying to just be, but I don't want you to just be.
that's what I'm saying.
So I'm
Human
encroaching on you.
beings,
You're
right?
just being.
So human beings, right?
Yeah.
Not human choices, not human doing, human beings, right?
Yeah.
So what happened to, was there a point where we were just being?
Yeah, we were saying.
But
Definitely.
Just what I'm
it's
saying.
not- yeah, but-
Is it being a
yeah.
choice?
How is that a
It is,
choice?
it
You know,
is.
wait. When you're a human being, we say it's a choice. Because choice would assume that you had preconception or you had accumulated knowledge of what it is that is. I'm saying, if you're just being, like for example, does dogs make choices, for example? Like an animal, does an animal make a choice?
Of course.
Or is it moving
Yeah.
from a next space?
An animal
Oh.
makes a choice based
How do
on
we-
its mental capacity, because they do tests that say dogs can choose.
Is
What
that
but
our
they
perception
choose?
of what they're doing, for example?
Well, a dog will choose what's good for him.
How do you know that?
Because of the tests that they do, for instance.
But how
they,
can you
they-
not know that? It's a
but
living
yeah,
thing.
they put certain.
Is that
listen,
just
this is
natural?
how, because how they teach dogs, is by reward and
That's
punishment,
manipulation.
Yeah? It
That's
is
not
manipulation. But what I'm saying is the dog chooses its way of receiving this information. It says, I'm gonna pick the shape
Yeah.
that leads to me getting
We're saying-
the reward I want. Yeah,
We're saying the same thing. Look what we said earlier.
yeah.
If you're manipulating,
Yeah.
like you just asked me, like,
Alright,
what if I
alright,
want to
cool.
stop you?
All right,
So
so
I'm
let's
on your
go.
way. When you said,
Let's go to this. Yeah,
if I want to stop you.
a woman conceives and there's a embryo forming. Yeah.
Right.
At what point does consciousness hit that embryo?
I have no idea.
Because and then that consciousness, was it just created just then, or did it already exist and has just travelled to inhabit or to use this body? Because if it has, if it already existed, then did it choose to come here? So it goes down to, did you choose to be here, or have you been sent here? Because if you were sent here, then you ain't had choice.
We're talking about metaphysics, then we can't say choose. There's no such thing as choice if you're studying metaphysics.
You know, am I making sense though? What I'm saying, it's like, I don't know what you're saying.
Because it's like, I'll just lift off the dog bit, yeah? If you just put two things down, you've still interfered
You have, yeah,
with the
definitely.
dog. You
But
have
it-
to
but-
observe the
but
dog
it-
in its
But
natural environment and not touch it.
But the
and
environment
see-
interferes.
No,
With
no.
it.
I
I
hear
hear
what
what you're saying, but even if
We can't-
the environment
the
will
reason-
interfere. Nothing is left alone because we interact.
No, I wouldn't say. So when you say interfere, it means that you're stopping a natural flow. Does the environment interfere, or is the environment a part of the dog's existence? Because when you say interfere, it means it is stopping it from doing what it would otherwise do.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's the nature.
Okay,
of
but
doing
if
that.
you want to observe a dog, yeah,
in its environment,
in its
yeah.
environment, yeah, that's studying. But
Yes.
if you want to create a test to test something about the animal, this is what they do in
Yes,
terms
you're
of
right,
these
yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
What we believe we know about
They make a
biology,
controlled
they
environment.
make a controlled environment
to
and
get
they
the
accept it.
objective, yeah.
That's still kind of interference.
Of course,
right?
I'm talking about if you just observe
then-
without saying
and
nothing,
then
don't do nothing to the dog.
observing, if you believe this quantum bollocks that they talk about, the act of observing affects the outcome of
Yeah, absolutely.
of an experiment.
Because of your own
You know about that,
perception.
right, Lion? So they're saying the fact that you're even looking, even from your little secret corner, is affecting his experiment.
Bro, that's exactly what I'm going about. When
Yeah.
you said the dog chews, I'm like, how do you know that? Because if we're observing through our lens
So I want
of what we
to
think choice looks
I
like.
want to ask you something, right? Because I see where your angle is coming from. However, do you believe that animals have no choice?
I believe that animals move on the most purest form of freedom until
Okay.
human beings got
So,
involved.
so some people say that animals move on instinct.
Yeah.
Right? Now, to some extent, I can't remember you said it right, but maybe instinct is a part sign of genealogy, right? Because they say that depending on what happens to your ancestors, your genes, it comes through the sperm element and that.
Yeah, absolutely. Information is carried.
Information is carried forward. So,
Right.
in some way, their instinct, which you say is a natural form of choice,
I'm not saying
has already been predetermined because of their ancestors' experience.
And I'm not saying that. You're saying that.
I'm saying,
Oh.
right, but you're saying like that's the closest form of not having a choice. Animals.
I think it's close form of what we call freedom.
Or
I
freedom.
think so.
And again, that comes from free inherited choice.
Right.
Free inherited choices that have been before
Free
that.
inherited choices.
Yeah.
Sorry, what you saying?
I'll give you an example, right?
What are you saying?
Do you remember the Matrix? Who watched the Matrix?
Yeah.
Right. So I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one, right? And even Morpheus or the Oracle was like, "Oh, you've already made a choice. You're just here to understand why you made it."
Right.
Right. Remember. So in some ways, like our decisions have already been made for us based on our environments, based on our.
You're talking about predetermination.
Yeah.
So then there's no freedom in predetermination, is there? In destiny. If you believe in destiny, then do you
no
really have
choice
freedom?
either.
Unless you're talking about multiple destinies, multiple choice.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if we're following that, then it's their choice. Then. That eliminates choice along with it.
That's not true. If you
Do you
believe
understand what
in
I'm saying?
destiny,
So I
then
follow that. That's a deep thing, but it eliminates choice as well.
I don't know if destiny and choice.
You might be destined for something, but it's the choices you make if you be led to that.
I thought destiny
You
was
will
a
always have free will.
was a definite.
It's
No, that's not
fate,
true.
it's like fate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's fate.
Steps that we know who he
Yeah,
is.
so you could be destined for something, but you doesn't even get it, right? So fate is when it's like it's planned out.
Okay, so fate is
cemented.
no matter what you do, final
Yeah,
destination.
yeah,
No matter what you do, you're dying.
Yeah, like death is everybody's fate in this physical flesh, anyway. Or we could call it transformation. If we want to get deep, but like we will cease to exist within this contextual realm in 3D. That's everybody's fate.
We're sure about
No matter
that.
what
Yeah?
we do.
And we are sure about that everybody dies.
Well, when let's not do that.
I'm just saying.
You're gonna start
Are we
doing.
sure about
I know
that,
you're gonna
yeah?
go jet lag.
Are
Don't
you-
try and set
you're
man up.
sure about
I know
that?
he's trying to go. Well, that's why I gave it content.
I understand the way it's
Is
described.
everyone agreeing that everybody dies?
Wait.
Don't let me slip.
Death could be a form of freedom for
Steps.
some people, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
There's no freedom in that.
But he's
There's
trying to
no
know.
freedom.
We don't know. How we trying to decide? Yeah, we don't know.
You have the choice.
But with the fate, yeah, we're gonna cease to exist
Yeah,
in
I'm
this
just gonna have to
plane,
panic.
particularly as in the physical
Step
flesh.
by
Do you want to come in?
ask you,
Big man step.
Yeah, control it.
what
We're
is
just
freedom
talking,
to you? And
just
do you
drag
believe
it.
you have it? And if you have it, how do you keep it?
That grin on his face.
No,
We're doing the deep end, innit?
Yeah,
What was the question?
really, I think it's like state of mind, but like in that aspect, yeah, you can have it. But when it comes to like physical freedom within society, then obviously you know you're restricted in it. So nah,
So not in society, but yes, in your own head.
yeah,
So in your own head, as in you think you're free to think the thoughts you want to think.
of course.
So then, what are they? When they spray stuff in the sky or put chemicals in your food and frequencies and that to manipulate your thought process, ain't that
Like,
taking away your freedom to have? Are you sure you're having all the thoughts you can have
I'm sure within myself, and that's
Yeah.
the best I can be.
to the best of what you can? Do you understand? Because you know, like what Joe was talking about, that the illusion of freedom of choice is the best way to control
people. That choice is the lockdown to me.
When you're so sure that I could do anything I want to do, but the thing is, anything you want to do is still within a certain box, and anything outside of that is somehow been masked away. To even be different is like a revolutionary act. It's like, do you know what I mean?
That's why slavery is changed, isn't it? It's not the whipping and the beating
Yeah.
and chaining,
Mental.
it's a different ball.
Mental
I think it was always mental
as well.
I think it was always mental, and that was just another trick to give us something bait to focus on. Meanwhile, all them white people that were holding slaves were slaves themselves and under control. You understand? Behind how they thought.
You're a slave to their thoughts, basically. That was
And somebody was benefiting from that thought process.
That's such a poetic part.
I don't believe that everybody, not to be coded. I said this the other day about the slavery thing. I don't think everyone thought, oh yeah, we hate black people, whatever. It had to be learned and taught. Yeah, I believe, and I say that just because of, you know, when you put two babies together, they don't seem to be fixated on the differences, or they don't even know differences.
That's true.
Do you understand? They could be playing with themselves.
It's acquired behaviour. Human behaviour is acquired.
So then racism
is
and
acquired.
stuff like that is acquired. So therefore, the people that were, if we talk about slavery, they were also manipulated.
Yeah.
And I believe that they were lied to and whatnot to make themselves comfortable and make that paradigm, that environment where stuff like that could breed. You know what I'm trying to say?
The reason why I brought slavery into it was because of the elimination of choice. Like you said, they still had a choice. But I said if they were conditioned to believe they didn't have a choice, right, they had no choice.
They had a choice. They just didn't think
they were following a systematic order of what was supposed to happen or what they felt had to happen and couldn't happen any other way.
But that in itself is a choice.
Yeah, they have to make a choice to,
and you have
or
to
not believe it. You can choose
There's
to
only
believe
so
something.
there's only so much you can.
Subconscious choice.
Nah,
It's still a
That's a-
subconscious choice. There's
know.
differences between that. Again, like
because it's easy to say that. When
Can you
you
make a
don't
choice
know,
subconsciously? Wait, can you make a choice subconsciously? Because
How?
what is choice? What does choice mean? The actual word. What does it mean? So I understand. When we say choice, are we using euphemistic in our own way, or we say it
Collins
has
ain't here or whatever. My thing with choice is just your ability. I'm gonna use a word. To describe the word. I'm gonna say your ability to choose, which is dumb. But you know that.
it went down, but it's,
You know, it's poor, isn't it?
The ability to make your own decision.
Hey, but it's basically the same thing. You just flip the word.
Autonomy.
put some sound
Autonomy.
effects in the edit.
You're looking
please,
for
I beg you.
autonomy. Something autonomous. Something that you're like. It's freedom of choice with something that your being is autonomous.
Not freedom of choice, just choice.
Choice.
Yeah, that's a separate thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
What's choice? What is choice?
I have to look online for that one, mate.
Pick it. It's just basically we're gonna go through the thesaurus of
Choice.
choice, isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting.
Selection.
But it's interesting because it deals with possibility.
What he said.
It deals with possibility. That's interesting because possibility now is a whole nother conversation because possibility in itself is infinite. So then the minute you start to go to the next sense of which or how, then you're going into choice now. So Sue said something about before, you said something about if did we just come here from another place, and if so, did we choose from that plane? And I'm like, it's hard to fathom that because I can't remember beyond this plane what happened in that plane to say for sure if we knew. And if so, it's like, can you choose a different body?
Yeah, it's just like this, isn't it? It's like whether your soul was destined for this position or whether your soul is ambiguous to a certain point, and then it slides into, like if you all seen Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Yeah? You all seen Quantum Leap?
classic.
Yeah. So obviously, have you seen Quantum Leap? So the dude, Sam Beckett, is basically...
Wow, bro, this will be my memories.
Yo! It's basically caught. Basically, he's found a way to transfer his consciousness into other bodies, yeah?
Okay.
But now this machine is broke. So he's just jumping, his
find his
consciousness
way back to-
is jumping from body to body, but also parallel universes and different realities. So he's going through realities, not necessarily just bodies, but different.
Okay.
And but it's like he has no choice of who he jumps into, is it? He just lands into someone,
but
then
when
has
he
to
lands,
work out.
Then has to make choices once
Within
within that
But
So-
that's why I said
so
choice
you
doesn't
don't
go
have-
into metaphysics. That's why I said choice doesn't extend into the metaphysics. It only stays within the physical realm.
Mate, I don't know.
Just based on what we just said.
Yeah.
Literally what we just said. Like, yes,
But he didn't. He didn't.
But he
But I'm
doesn't
saying
choose
that
really
doesn't, that doesn't necessarily mean that's how the spirit works. Because I know some people believe that the spirit chooses. You choose your mum and dad. You know, like Have you not heard that kind of stuff?
Nah, I never heard that.
You know that?
I've
You never
heard
heard
that
that?
before,
Someone
you
said,
choose,
never heard
you
that?
choose your parents.
They say that you choose your parents and you choose the lessons you want to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To me,
and then
that's-
once
I
you've learned them
believe that.
lessons,
But I like that.
you go back to school and you go and pick another subject.
I like that.
And that's what reality is.
Hey, you might want to turn into a film before someone takes that.
That's too
blockbuster,
funny.
you know?
That's so funny. You're on TV
I like that.
referencing Quantum Leap, but in reality about relation or relating to. So it's about how we relate in different formats, isn't it? So if you're saying your spirit or soul knew or choose, it had to have prior information.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know. It's a beautiful theory, and then under scrutiny, it just gets all muddled. I feel like it gets all new agey for me. So
New agey.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
mad.
yeah. It gets
What's
mad.
wrong with the new age?
New
We
agey.
need the new age. There's nothing wrong with the
Bro, new age is now.
I'm telling you.
Do you know
It
what?
happens.
It's all new agey for me.
It reminds me of that guy, that black guy's poem on that. I don't know if you've not seen that TV. I know you've seen it. Because you see anything poetry-wise. That black you on
That was
I don't know.
the bank.
And it'd be a Generation Z. He's chatting a bag of shit.
You're chatting about.
What was
So I don't-
It's for the bank, isn't it?
Sorry if he watches it
Yeah,
or
it's for the
whatever.
bank.
Wait, what
Is that what was
Nah, that's cool.
How many ones is there? Because I swear there's only one. I
don't know. The brothers talk about Generation Z.
No, basically it's about the bank. It's about the bank.
They think we're too interested in our phones.
Yeah.
But we make
It's about
choices. We stand them what we want.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you chatting about?
Yeah, it's about basically
But
selling
I think there's
banking.
more- I think there's more than
And
one.
then he's saying,
Or different-
yeah, he's just selling banking. Saying our generation, all we care about is what we have a lot to offer. But I'm like, that's nonsense. Are you stuck on social media? Stop. I was like, you're chatting nonsense. That you are that, but that's not your fault because this is what you're born into. Did you have a choice to come into this phonesy area where we brains get licked down by a car because we're trying to tweak man back?
I wanted to say something. I can't remember.
You know what I'm saying? Is that what the?
Ah, cool. So this might be taken a bit deep there. I can't remember what I heard. Just again in the same vein of choice, right? And I don't know how much of this is fact, but I'm gonna say it and hopefully we can get something of sense and substance of it, right? They said that the devil left God's side because he didn't want to be enslaved by another person's system, right? And in some ways, that system where you was talking about the elimination of choice, because you're existing in God's environment, which is systematically.
Careful, some people don't believe in God.
Well, yeah, but this is the discussion that we can have with people who don't believe in God. There you go. Oh, right.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you holding me back?
Optimization is this. That's what the man looking in it. So I'm saying, so in some ways, was one form of not having any choice. You then made a decision to go against that to start your own system of living or existing, as you were saying.
I was saying the act of not taking.
Because I was trying to think of like where was the beginning of shit. So you said cool, like if it was metaphysical.
That's real too. When the cell divided, was it out of choice?
Maybe because it was in tune to the grand design of things. So he knew that this is what my job is.
So you're saying the cell's conscious of itself then?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a cell was conscious of itself.
So if it's conscious of itself, that means we can't control it. If we didn't want to be controlled.
I think you can control yourself.
No, I'm saying he wouldn't want. If he choose not to be controlled, he can choose not to obey you. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I'm saying so you think cells are conscious?
That's what you said.
All right, I believe that I don't see.
I believe they're conscious, not of itself, though.
I don't believe that it's unreasonable to think that cells are conscious and have a level of consciousness, a level of awareness of their purpose or what they do. Like I feel like when cells and organisms don't have awareness of their own purpose, that's where we get mutations and defects.
But maybe that's their grand design.
Maybe that's them taking choice.
Or maybe that's just them.
Look at the cell, right?
And they're all valid, like, I don't know.
Look at the cell,
I don't know what to say.
When cells work in unison, the body can function. If one cell decides not to die when it's supposed to, or do what it's not supposed to, it becomes cancer. So I'm saying, is having choice making it cancerous? If it decided, if it was conscious of itself, to not do what everything does, deciding to do something different.
Maybe it would have told. Maybe it did choose to do the right thing, and something else, external, like for instance, something that was sprayed in the air. Yeah, listen. This something that was sprayed in the air, or something that's put in your food, or something that you smoke, or something that you wear, or something
Gave it
whatever.
instructions.
Is now overridden its choice.
Yeah.
And in fact, this is where cancer comes from, because maybe I don't believe that cancer just forms on its own. So it's an outside element that is creating these cancers in us.
Maybe it's a reaction.
We're reacting to it.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I F with that.
I'm looking at it a different way.
I F with that.
I'm thinking like if you take a game, for instance, like GTA, you play the game and you have missions to do, and within the missions you have choices. You can do this, you can do that, and they have effects. When you complete the game, you get free roam. So let's change that on life. God created life.
Yeah, you got the rules and the regulations. You got little choices there, and once you've clocked that, you can do your own thing.
Like you said, the Bible says he's already made his plan. He already knows what's going to happen.
That's
We're just here.
Well, okay, fair enough with your question, but I don't believe in religion. I believe in spirituality. But yeah, I can still look at the Bible and think, yeah, this is okay. I can get down with that, or maybe I don't understand that.
Like most
Do you know
holy
what I'm saying?
books.
Exactly. So
They're meant to be guidelines. They're not meant.
Exactly.
You're not meant to worship every line.
So if I go on the premise
They're
that
interpreted.
God did create everything and he knows what's happening and we are here to live out his plan, then our
I
choices,
don't agree.
well, fair
Whose
enough,
plan?
our choices are,
My plan, not some. No.
our choices
You-
are
you've
not
also
our
said the
choices
same
then,
thing.
are they? Because they're already planned for us, in a way.
Is that fate that we mentioned earlier?
But that's what I mean.
What,
Depends. If you believe in like a grand architect, a grand designer, if you believe in that, and you believe, because he could have, there's two options of
Why are
that,
we
yeah?
calling God a he?
Or she,
Ooh.
it.
If the
Nah.
Almighty exists, it is nothing that we can
Cool.
fathom into our physical.
Cool.
So
So,
obviously, as
I
human
agree
beings,
with
we
you.
have to give he, she. But
Yeah, we get rid
if
of
you're
it.
going to
It's
talk
true,
about
it's true.
the divine, you need to talk about it like in a real sense.
Okay.
God,
You know
there's
what?
no
So-
gender.
You know what's great about that? You acted on a choice to say that or not.
Yeah,
to say
because
that.
Yeah. But at the same time, yeah, I actually know.
But is
So
that
for
really
me,
a choice,
for me,
though? Or is that not conditioning?
Listen, it's
That's what I was
conditioned.
trying to
But listen,
say. Like,
it's conditioned to use the. But I overstand that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's not that. So I agree with what you're saying. Still, yeah.
but
so
your environment, your choice has changed because of your environment changed. Environment.
No, but it's not really ordered yet. But I already
he's
knew
wrong
that.
though. Like, as
Yeah,
in to
I
say,
think
because
so.
Yes, it
no,
is.
wait, because you're not saying he didn't say a man. Like
It's not
saying,
about. It's not
Wait,
about
wait,
being.
wait.
Yeah, but
I
don't know if he as a
Let
masculine
me say
energy.
because he's masculine, so I want to see where he's going with this. Because he's
Yeah,
masculine.
he is
That's
a
what-
masculine.
No, but then that's what I mean. But then again, like we're in this realm, so we're defining masculine
Yeah,
as
exactly.
male.
Yeah.
But how
masculine.
can how
Wait,
can
wait,
God?
wait.
No, wait. I'm saying,
You were saying
but you know,
something
like
that
things
last
like to say
I know,
like
but-
nouns,
Yeah.
verbs, adjectives,
Right.
and all that sort of stuff. Like
Right.
using just he, like even say something like it could be used as a word of say majesty or something, or as a position.
A title.
Yeah,
Right,
rather than
right.
saying like masculine, and then you look around men and there's not, you know, like it's not.
You saved it. That's not what you meant.
That's
That's not what you
saying
meant. You
that.
saved
No, but
it.
we spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
We spoke about that last week.
Saying that, like, there's as long as we understand, I think sometimes, you know, like we get caught up on even like that overstand, understand, and sometimes we get caught up on little things where that's not even the
What the
defining
thing is,
factor.
yeah.
Yeah,
The factor
like-
is just still
No, but it's
standing.
important so people follow because she would have been left behind had we continued going that route.
but you
So
could
it's
see,
good.
but you could see that that's like one of those things, like to say, you know, like
Yeah.
if you approach someone and
The
say,
thing is, but the thing
and then
is, if
someone
no
say,
one
look,
says
bro,
anything,
you-
nothing
Yeah.
will ever change. If we're just like, oh, actually,
But what are we trying to?
you know,
What are we trying to change?
we need
though?
to
Like,
we need to be more aware of ourselves and the
Yeah.
things that
We
we
can't-
say,
we
because
can't
what you
be.
say is
We can't.
vibrating
We can't.
on.
We can't.
Like
We can't.
you have to be conscious
be.
about
You know
what you
what? You know what?
say.
You know what? No, you can.
You
no,
are in
no,
control
The lack
of
of
what you
awareness
say.
limits your choices.
No,
right?
100%.
From
But
what
aware
you
of
see,
what? Like
everything
somebody's
you do.
opinion, somebody's feeling, and it's like what's
That was
happening.
interesting.
What's happening now in this day and age? Like where to say, we have to be aware of, say, homosexuals. We have to be aware of transgender, and they're trying to teach it in schools because it exists. We have to be aware. Now we have to teach. Now everything's acceptable. That's nonsense.
Wait, what?
You're not saying
That's
that.
nonsense.
Wait, what?
We're talking about something
Hold
that's
on,
really-
One at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time.
Let me talk to
Well,
you.
listen, you know this is wait. You know this is the part of the episode where the credits actually start. Oh shit! But yeah, cool. One at a time, though. One at a time.
I'm saying
Please,
why
please.
it's nonsense.
Yes.
As in to say, like, these things are of equal plane. These things are like they have to be taught for say like now, you know, like when we're talking about choice.
Yeah.
So say like we've got 5 kids in class.
Yeah.
Now we've just brought them 10 new things.
Yeah.
Now kids, you can choose out of these 10 things. That's why I say that's nonsense.
The choice is
Because
nonsense.
Yeah, as in to say, why are you bringing this? Like
You're bringing
like
it, so now
like
it's
a
starting to
normality.
choose, yeah.
Now my son or my daughter
Has
can
these
choose
things to choose
1,
from.
2, 3, 4 instead of the original order, as in to say male, female, man, woman. This is the way nature has us being and training us in that way. That's why I say it's nonsense. So if you get what I'm
That's
saying.
deep thing to say. I love it.
So you think that you shouldn't be provided with the choices of the things you can be?
No, because no, wait. You can answer this. Yeah? Can I answer this? What it is, yeah. I think what he's saying is,
Can I say
choices. Choices are being
I
alluded.
started, but I didn't get to finish for real.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because what you said was boy on girl. I can't remember the second one now because we've just gone
Male and female, I think you
right,
just kinda
male and female,
read it,
right? Which is binary. It's very yes or no, this or that, right? And that kind of alludes to when people say, "Oh, you're black or you're white." There's nothing in between. Let me finish what I'm saying.
No, but if you're saying that, I'm saying that.
No, I'm not saying you're saying. What I said was that what you were saying was binary. When you come to school, you get the choice of being male
Nature's
or
binary,
female,
yes.
boy or girl. Maybe even you want to go into masculine
Yes.
feminine. That's up to you, right?
Yes.
But I'm saying when you present different choices of sexuality or gender, all those things,
Yeah.
you allow someone else to be something else. Rather than
because-
limit,
but-
rather than
how can you- why do you allow someone-
rather than limit them to what you're presenting with two options.
All right, can I just say, yeah, what it is there's a difference in self-representation, representing yourself, yeah, than what's going on right now. I think what Monks was trying to say is they're masking. It seems like they're masking this highlighting of choices, but really what it is suggestion, because they're putting things on the table and highlighting factors under the guise of we're causing awareness, but really what it is suggestion. You understand? So it is. For instance, yeah, it's like this, yeah. If you say to a child, yeah, right, what would you like, yeah? Do you want this little tiny yellow-looking coin, or do you want this big silver, shiny, reflective one with all the pretty edges on it? Now you're giving them choice, but in your way of giving them a choice, you've also implanted suggestion. Yeah, and you know that what you're trying to get them to do is pick the 50p over the £1 coin.
How through that suggestion?
And through the suggestion of describing it and putting it into their mind that look, it's shiny, it's rare. You are trying to.
That's
But
different.
I think that's what it is. You put it out there, and you know that humans are going to gravitate toward, and they'll be like, right, that's an option, even if they didn't think it in their head. Now, if you are a man that's trapped in a woman's body, I feel for you. Like, if that's how you feel like you're a woman, but you've got all this masculine energy in you, and you feel you identify more with a man, then you know what? Listen, hear what I'm saying? That's you, and that's naturally how you've come to your, yeah? If you have grown up in a society where everyone around you is talking about this and doing that and then you're feeding off what society's showing you, and that's what's making your choice.
But you still have the choice, though. You still have the choice.
Yeah, but I mean, suggestion is real in human psychology. Suggestion and implanting subliminal, like it's Inception. You've seen Inception, yeah? That's what this advertising, that's what anything that's in the media on a program is there to do that, to program. Yeah?
If I give someone a choice, I'm suggesting.
True.
If I give it to you, it's a suggestion. I can master the choice of
It
it's a
is.
suggestion.
It is, yeah.
Because there's freedom of choice, regular choice.
You've got your choice. So for me to say that I'm giving you a choice
If I go
or
pursue-
showing your choices is actually
I'm
because you're
suggesting.
still going to miss something out. Because you're not going to sit there and read off everything. So you're still giving them a couple boxes and say, look, here's some new ones. Like, it's like when you go into a store, yeah, and it's like, oh, we've got this. What do they do? Like, say for instance, washing powder. Have you ever noticed this? This is what's the head top.
Right.
So you get a washing powder. This is called Daz. Yeah, and we've all been using Daz for 10 years. Then they say, now Daz with new improved rare.
It's the same
You go in the shop. It's all the old Daz gone. No, the old Daz is there, and then the new and improved Daz Plus is right next to it.
All right.
If you've improved your thing, why are you still selling the dead one? Do you understand? The illusion of choices are really you just trying to sell more Daz.
I think that's a different vein, but you wanted to say
said it
something.
with the iPhone.
No, I was.
It is that with the iPhone. It's that with all of these things.
Because I wanna.
I was just going back on, when you're talking about the transgender thing and like, and how like, obviously now people are giving those, children are given those lessons on those different things. Like, it does go back to the fact that people think that they have to be, if you're a man, you have to be masculine. If you're a woman, like, and a lot of the time you find some people that I have personally have known that because the society has told them that they cannot be as masculine as they feel that they have to transform and be a man, and in the physical sense. And I feel like if we're talking about the physical, like a lot of it is just to do with the appearance.
Yeah.
And it's like the things that I've read about my ancestors, and especially in India, in Hinduism, you know, being complete is being feminine and masculine. There is no one. You are all. And if you look at the brain and how it works, there's feminine and masculine. And that is true balance. And that's what we should seek. But we don't seek that because we're so external. We care so much about this.
In the vein
thing.
of how we was talking, that's a separate vein again.
Yeah,
it's like we're talking about.
It's different because even me, the way I believe a man should be, as in to say whole. A man can be compassionate. A man can be loving. A man can be gentle.
Yeah, but why does that equate to femininity?
That's what I was just about to say. That doesn't mean that this person is being feminine. Like, I wouldn't.
So then, how can a man
But
be
that's
masculine and
how
feminine?
you perceive it in society.
So what
when
is
we
feminine?
see a man like that, when we say
I
things like,
don't.
"Oh, you're being a bitch," or you know, little things like that. Do you know what I mean? We say it without even realising.
Yeah, no, there is. It is,
And that's why it's not
it's like
meant to show
there's
that
difference between. There's difference, like, if you're over emotional, I think what men are saying, if you're over emotional and a man turns around and says, "Oh, you acting like a little bitch," we don't necessarily mean this. Women are bitches and rare. What we mean is a jibe. What we're trying to say is this behaviour. I've more experienced it from the females in my life or the females around me.
But then that will
So as a male, and it's not right. I'm not
that
saying
will
it's right.
still
It's true.
influence someone to think
It's
that
true.
their behaviour
It's true.
is not for them
It's
as
true.
a man.
It's true.
You know, so we
It's
have
true.
to be mindful
It's
about
true.
the things that
But can
we
you?
say.
So do you believe? Do you believe like a? Do you believe that you can act that a man can act like a woman?
No.
Do you believe a woman can act like a man?
What is it to act like a woman?
This is the point I'm trying to say.
So what is
Yeah.
acting like a man?
So
Acting like a
so
woman?
you've never experienced anyone, a man that you would say, right, he's feminine
What do you mean?
in his behaviour. You've seen him. So, but why? What
But
is
that's not
feminine?
me saying that he's a woman.
No. But you're saying he's feminine.
Yeah.
But all he's doing is acting. So what's feminine about his behaviour?
What do you mean?
How can your
What
behaviour?
if that's how they've always been?
How can his behaviour be feminine?
Interesting.
Because that's how.
No, that's how you're perceiving. You're
that's
perceiving.
my perception,
You're perceiving his behaviour as feminine. So you are stereotyping, and you are putting
But that's
sanctions
everybody.
on what.
Everyone has.
Do you understand
to
what? So then there's something.
Everyone has that.
So then there's something inherent in that. The two animals. I got two dogs here, male and female. Now I've seen the way that the female dog will approach other dogs, and just on her way to approach the other dog, she's seen the way the other dog has weed, and knows straight away from you. But oh, you didn't lift up your leg to wee. You're feminine. She goes up assuming that's a female. So in nature, there's behaviours and stuff like that that indicate to the other
female,
what sex they are, what gender
absolutely.
they are. Yeah,
Absolutely.
But now that's been politicized when it comes to humans, and it's like we're all feeling bad for calling it how we see it.
But I think that
Do you know what I mean?
I think that as society has evolved, right? How we see ourselves, how we identify ourselves, how we identify with other people.
I think
has
it's
changed.
how they want us to identify with ourselves.
Like,
I think we're being brainwashed into it. Sorry,
yeah, like, and again, like that's how you perceive it, right?
Yeah.
Some people believe this is who they are, right? And it's us putting our choices on them and how they
Go back to evolution,
on how
what you're
they
saying.
see themselves, right? So again, like we're evolving, so how we see the world changes. We already said that before.
So is evolution natural, or is it?
It could be
tinkered.
both.
Is it
could be both.
manipulation? That's manipulation.
It could be both.
You understand?
It could be both.
Because to manipulate something from a third party, that's not necessarily evolution. You're changing it. Evolution is for it to take that process on its own naturally. I think.
Like I said, there's two.
Yeah.
Based on what you just said, the fact that we're constantly being interfered with, that's why I always tell people I don't think we've evolved. Because of the constant interference by our judgment, our prejudice, or whatever, our programming from the other. There's so much interference in the human experience. I feel like we've been stifled our growth. Because we should have had a different understanding of perception by now, that we're still doing stupid stuff like racism. Dumb things that are so on a lower vibration.
But can you not understand?
Based on what you said about being attacked from all these different
We've
areas.
already started by saying that we know that racism isn't inherent to mankind.
I know. So that's what I'm saying.
It's not built into all of us, is it?
Nah, I know
Or
what
is
you're saying.
it?
No. The whole concept of saying one race is superior to
Is it racist? Is racism built in?
What's a whole other thing now?
I don't know.
I don't.
Prejudice.
I still don't feel like we resolved the other issue. But
Because, yeah. I don't resolve that.
We've gone
But
on.
I'm not- I definitely think it's wider than how we're perceiving it.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and even how we kind of discussed it. I think to have this discussion as well, unless there's someone who's open on the table and wants to discuss being a transgender or a bisexual or homosexual, like
You need someone who can
wait, I ain't
choose.
finished though, right? Then to have this conversation in itself is limited because we're talking from a box perspective where we haven't gone beyond that sphere of choice.
No way. Because what I was gonna lead to is like, where will it end then? Because you was talking about choice. Is like, would it lead to, say, people like wanting to be half man, half dog, half man, half horse?
That's already happening.
Like to say the things that we're already being shown, like to say mutation and all that sort of stuff with X-Men and all that. People with superhuman powers. People is this where it's going to?
That's where it's going to go.
Like to say, this is acceptable.
I think, unfortunately, some people have been swept up in
Where do we
it.
start?
Some people genuinely feel different than what their gender is. Like, whether it's chemically, emotionally, or physically, they don't feel like it matches up to how they feel. But they are being hijacked. Their cause is being hijacked. Just like you'd see Black Lives Matter or any of these things, Grenfell, anything. It's now a trendy thing to be hijacked and manipulated. You can see social engineering all over these things. So where there's actual genuine humans going through certain circumstances,
do you know what's gonna happen?
That has been hijacked and it's been used to, because basically what they're doing is breaking down the barriers that are there on purpose.
Okay, but like I said, and I'm going to shut up after this because I feel like we're going on, right? But again, just to reiterate, right, we're having a limited focus, right, on this. We're having a limited sharing of perspective because we're talking about something from the outside looking in. If none of us can say right now we're gay, we're transgender, we're da-da-da-da-da, we're talking from the outside looking at someone else and determining, based on our choices and our perspective, how they think, how they feel and why they do.
No, I wasn't doing that.
No, this is what I'm saying. So I'm saying to have this discussion.
We're not talking about them.
I'm saying to have this discussion, no, because when we talk about binary, right, about boy or girl, gender, da-da-da, I'm saying to have this discussion is limited. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying now.
So the only people that can understand that
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's
limited.
limited.
How?
Okay, it is limited.
It is limited. It is fancy. This is what I'm saying. It's limited.
Yeah, but what
To say that it's not limited.
I didn't say it's not limited. I said, how is it limited? That's
So
what
can you not see why it's not limited? Because we're talking about someone or a people or a way of thinking or being or existing, right? And we're not it ourselves.
The reason why I disagree is because I don't have to be the son to know about the sun.
You don't have to be
Because
the
that's
son.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
You don't know about the sun.
Yes, really.
What do you know about the sun?
Really.
Okay.
Only for the fact that I'm science. So I'm gonna tell you straight up.
So are you
We can observe.
heterosexual?
Sorry?
Are you heterosexual?
Yeah, I'm straight, man.
Do you know how it feels to be homosexual?
I don't know how it feels to have a sexuality.
Do you want to know
my
how it
homosexuality?
feels?
But you're talking about having a human experience where there's a point of confusion about how you feel and the social attack. I can relate to that. So if you're talking about how it feels to be gay, I don't know how it feels from a sexual point of view. But if you're talking about
the spiritual one,
so,
the mental one, the physical one,
but again,
you have none of those, right?
This is what I'm saying. No. Hold on. By having that conversation, we're saying we can't observe something based on infraction, which is just based on how they react, based on the environment or based on their science, that we can't know much about what they're going through. I'm saying, their own experience in life, we can't. But we can still have the conversation to decipher whether or not you can. That's why I gave an example. It's an extreme one. The sun one's extreme, no doubt. It's extreme. But I'm saying observational science.
And
that's why I said that.
You just said it in yourself. It's observation. It's almost
absolutely.
It's almost like voyeurism.
The whole of the celestial is observational science, and here we are running around talking about the moon and the sun.
So hear what I'm saying again, right?
You know what I'm saying?
To talk about something from an external point of view,
right?
When you're not in it, living in it, right? It's going to be limited. Now, can you understand why I said?
But it'll always be limited because even if you have one person that's a transgender or two people,
it's still limited. That's what I'm saying. It counts for itself.
But you see how much fruitful this conversation would be.
To have extra perspective from. Okay, I feel you. I
was just saying that the direction I was saying is.
I feel you.
What choice has broadened, and when will it stop? Because it could go to an extreme where it's gone beyond, say, just human.
It started off
as human.
I don't think the choices are broadened. Yeah,
it is.
I don't think the choices are broadened. Yeah, I think the choices are always there with man. And this is the thing: we are born with choice. Yeah, so we've always had that. So we've always had the choice to do it. Whether you've had the notion or the gumption to go to that extent, whether you've whether it's occurred to you or not, you've always had the choice.
I
You
disagree.
just have to be aware
No,
of
okay,
it.
no,
Yeah?
I dis-
So what is
no, I
different?
disagree.
I
It's
agree.
different.
No, I'm
Listen,
talking
listen,
about the
listen.
system,
A man has
though.
always had the ability to say, "I don't think I'm a man." Yeah, or physically I'm male, mentally or inside I feel like a woman.
When did we
yeah?
start saying?
But what I'm
this
saying,
in the-
a man has always had the ability to do that, whether he has done it or not. A man has. There's nothing stopped a man to do that from doing that.
Yeah, but that's not
Yeah?
proof that they've had choice.
No, but what I'm saying is we have the choice. We all have the choice now to say we feel different about how we. That's not a new invention to think. Even if you've kept it to yourself, it's not a new invention to feel these things that people are feeling about themselves. What is happening though is that the illusion of awareness and creating awareness about one individual's plight is actually all it does is the monkey see, monkey do effect, where it encourages more people to then go on and do that. If that makes sense. Now, this is why we have advertising. This is why we have product placement. This is why we have people that are not allowed to do certain things on certain programs at certain times because they understand that behavior is influential. So if you're seeing something, it's now become something that is a possibility for you to do, even if you didn't have the notion to do it before. Hence why you're not supposed to smoke in front of kids, because they may grow up to smoke. Or you're not supposed to put certain... You understand? Don't
But
swear
what
in
I'm
front
saying-
of children, because they'll pick it up.
What I agree
We
with,
know
though,
this.
Yeah, what I agree with
You know what I mean?
that the thing has been widening and it's going to keep widening to ridiculous places, and we have evidence that it's widening to ridiculous places. Why? Because you got a white woman and Zola, what's her name?
Yeah.
Saying she identifies as a black woman, right?
Oh, God,
now
yeah.
hold on, we got to go back now. First, it was prior to 1976. We had people saying homosexuality was a mental health thing, right? And then we evolved it, whatever we want to call it. Then we changed our mind and said, you know what? We know more about this now. That's not true, right? Now, we made this open to everybody to say, no, we've made it wrong. It's no longer mental health. This is what it is now. So now everyone's aware and changed their cognitive behavior based on the new information, right? Then he went into people saying, I'm sexually attracted to nature and sleep with trees.
I think that's not new though.
This is what I'm saying. It is new.
That's not
It
new.
is.
I know.
I'm not sure why it's
I
new.
know that's not
It is new because you have to. Okay, for you to say it's not new, you're gonna have to show us a
There's
time.
evidence of it.
Wait.
There's evidence of
Okay,
it.
then you have to bring out the table
Yeah.
evidence of that.
Bestiality,
Anywhere else.
homosexuality,
Yeah, you're saying-
pedophiles,
No, give me to what I just said. I'm talking about trees. I'm talking about
marriage,
trees.
single
I'm talking
sex,
about
polygamy. None
Bro,
of it is new.
I'm talking about trees. Let's not
Having
talk
sex
about
with trees,
Yeah,
having
no
sex with
access.
animals.
We're saying is
none
what
of it
I'm
is
saying. You're
not
saying
new.
more of a statement than more of a truth. You're saying that was
No,
more of a
it's
statement.
fact.
So
It's
I'm
not
saying
new.
I didn't know that people were having sex with trees and stuff like that until I was investigating about the hippie movement in the 70s. Prior to that, if I go into any other culture, wherever it is, I've never heard that. And you have to find evidence that other people were making love to
If you look,
trees.
if you look.
No, don't
closely-
say I should go.
if
No, you made the statement, so I don't have to look. You made
You're
the
making a statement that it didn't exist.
No, say yeah,
and I'm
because-
saying sexual activity, yeah, for how many thousands of
No,
millions?
we-
Wait.
yeah.
For how many thousands of millions a year you believe humans have existed, yeah, and you believe that humans have infinite capability, yeah, then you should not be surprised that a man has tried to put his will.
I didn't say surprised. I'm saying you haven't seen evidence of it.
before
Yeah, but
1960.
you haven't seen evidence.
You think that that's never?
We now live
Come
in
on,
a time
bro.
of information.
So we have evidence of
So we
dinosaurs
will-
from 2 million
so
years ago. We
now-
don't have evidence
now-
of someone
but
having
now
sex.
We don't have evidence of
we see
dinosaurs,
things
bro.
like that. We think
We don't have
Believe
evidence.
what I'm saying.
We don't have evidence.
That's fine. That's fine. That's
What
fine.
evidence of dinosaurs?
That's fine. That's fine. But when we dig these balls and find DNA and stuff, you can call it what you want.
do you think?
Like
Who's digging what?
it's all right. It's all right.
Who is digging what? And
We
classifying it as what?
we can believe what we want. When it comes to belief, I never like to have a conversation on belief.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You believe that? You believe
When,
that?
this is what I'm saying. When
That you believe that? You don't
This one-
know that.
when I
and I
started
can
out-
do that for everything that you believe in.
you talk about belief, I'm talking
Yeah.
about my experience of being on archaeology. So,
You believe
so, hold on.
that no one's had sex
Bro.
with a tree before.
Wait one
before
second.
1960.
I'm saying I'm going to
That's
make
not
that
belief, that's not
statement
fact.
because until you show me otherwise, I have a more stronger
But it's
case.
still not fact,
If I'm
bro.
standing in court
So
and
you shouldn't
saying,
use it. It's
So-
not a fact. You just don't have sufficient evidence.
so
That's it.
What is a fact? Then?
That's it.
What is a fact?
Well, what is not a fact is that you
No,
can
no, no,
say
no, that's what is not a fact. What
no,
is a
listen.
fact? For you
You
to
did a
make
bit
that
of research.
statement.
Alright, cool, bro. You did a bit of research. Yeah?
No, that's not asking. I'm asking. That's
That's
irrelevant, man.
You did a
What
bit of
is
research.
fact?
You did a
That's
bit
what
of
I'm asking.
research, yeah,
All I'm asking was fact.
on the hippie movement, yeah.
I'm going to answer
I understand what you're
fact
asking, but I'm just saying what I'm
Are you
gonna
going to
say.
ignore what I'm asking and say what you
I'm
want to
not
say?
ignoring you, but I'm going
What
to
is
deliver it in
fact?
the fashion I feel fitting for myself. I've got choice. So I'm going to answer the way I want to answer. You get me? I know
Okay.
you want me to answer the certain way.
No, I'm sorry, I also know what fact
Unfortunately, what I was saying is you did a bit of research, yeah, on the hippie movement. And on your research, you uncovered some people that had sexual feelings towards nature, yeah? and in your belief, that is where it began. Yeah, it's
That's
all
you making
belief.
assumptions,
That's
but
what
then
you
let's
said.
start again.
You don't.
I didn't say that's where it began. I said I haven't seen. If you listen
seen
to
it
what
before.
I've listened to what
So
I'm
I'm saying, but it existed.
Say what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You said, but it's existed. We've both put together statements, yeah?
It's going to be hard for you to.
We've both just put together statements. You said, I believe. You're the first person in this conversation between me and you to say, I believe, by the way, when you want to say something, yeah? You said, I didn't bring no belief. I said, I have observed, when I was on my journey, on the archaeology side, and asked my questions, since I'm a science person, and DNA is factual, I can only go by that. So I'm saying, that's not... Oh my God, bro. Listen,
you see what I'm saying? Yeah? No, do you know what, fam?
Listen,
I'm not going to lie, yeah? You
listen.
are definitely straight vanilla with the thing.
Thank
Like,
you.
for you, this is
Thank
it. You're
you.
mad
Great
vanilla.
assumption. That's
You're
right.
mad
Make
rice
more
pudding with it.
That's
And
right.
for you, you're not deviating from... I'm a science person. So archaeology... This is you. I'm a science person. And an archaeologist. And genetics is a fact. Now, you know, for instance, that there are credible people that dispute the theory of genetics and the current model that is used today in science. Yeah? And intellectually, I'd say you'd have to respect them. Even if you've done studies in your own fields and you're learning in your own field, you know there's people that dispute the genetic shit that we get and carbon dating and things of that nature. So that whole realm of science is still disputed. Right or wrong? You're fucker. Right.
You dispute something. Doesn't mean nothing. When you dispute, it just says, I disagree.
No.
But they have not come up with a science to back their dispute.
I don't believe that's true.
So once again, you say
I don't
believe.
But you know what I mean. I do, but I back up what I'm saying.
How?
Because
you don't believe?
I'm saying belief because you're talking about beliefs.
I never said nothing about belief this whole time.
But the things you're talking as facts are actually beliefs. Fam,
You're making an assumption I'm believing. I'm telling you.
The things you're saying as facts are beliefs.
No, as a human being, yeah, I can have an experience. I can observe something. I can look at something and say, well, for me, this is a fact, right? Now, you can come along and say, well, bro, that's not a fact. I'm going to dispute that. That's fine. Yeah. Then you have to now bring up your fact. Yeah. Then we can compare. But all you've said to me thus far is what you believe. Even though you're talking to someone that's been telling you, based on this, based on that, this is what I've observed, this is what I've come to. So if I'm talking scientifically, I'm saying, well, if you disagree, that's cool. But you got to bring what your journey is, what your thing is. You can't just tell me you believe.
See me, yeah? I heard you saying some stuff, but like when I challenged it, it turned, and you spoke about it, I can't even remember right now because I've had this cannabis oil thing. But anyway, yeah. You said something, I disputed it, yeah. You clarified yourself, and it was a belief. Because you believed something to be true.
Saying
you understand? I can't remember where it was. It was 10 minutes ago. I'm going to do the editing, so I'm going to rewind it. Right there. It's be like, right.
Is that with the clickbait?
There are certain things that there are certain things that people thought were fact.
Yeah, of course.
And later on,
it changed. Absolutely.
So when they took that as fact,
yes,
I wouldn't say believe, but when they took that in as fact,
yes,
they almost said, cool, this is my perspective and standpoint,
right?
Until it was suggested to be
absolutely
different, right?
Absolutely.
So right now, you are going to keep your standpoint until someone provides you with something.
Thank you, sir.
But you're also alluding to the fact that you could be wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that he could be right.
Absolutely.
You just want facts.
That's what I'm saying. No. This is why I wanted to take the time to say, what is facts?
Sorry, bro.
Because I'm exactly there. I'm saying, in human consciousness, we've come to a point where we say, this is air we're breathing. For the longest time. There is a possibility tomorrow we say, actually, it's not air, it's something else. So I'm saying, when you dispute someone, where are you coming from?
Yeah,
That's what I've been asking Jeddah. I said, Jeddah, you can dispute it, but you have to show
what it was that I was disputing?
Yes, I remember.
What was it?
I was saying...
Dinosaurs.
Before that, the first thing you disputed that led up to that was about tree loving people that
okay, yes. Yeah, so you said
now you remember now.
Yeah. You said
now you remember.
All right. So basically what you said was
that you know what I said.
That is the first the first that it happened.
No, once did I say that?
It was.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was worse than that.
I never said that.
I'll
tell you what I said.
You said it. Go on.
I'll tell you what I said. I said, back to even what he laid the foundation of where I'm coming from was, I made an observation, right, in my little study, and came to a point where I was like, prior to this point, let me see where else this people have been speaking about having sex with trees, right? Then I said, okay, cool. So right now, this is where I'm at as a human being. I haven't seen it past a certain point in our conscious time. However, like he said, I stand corrected if you can show me prior past that time.
Okay,
so I didn't say that's what you began. I'm just saying my research has brought me to this
I think
part.
it was more than you saying, I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it. That's what I've been saying.
I think what I
haven't
was
seen
trying
it
to
past
say
that,
is just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it hasn't existed.
You're right, but
you understand? So that's where it was. And
Okay,
then you was like, yeah, it hasn't existed. And then we was getting into it from that. So if I go back to the point, not that I'm saying, I know for a fact that I've heard of it in ancient times, in the pagan belief systems and that, and of like the Druids and shit like that. I know that they had a name. So the Druids, you know the ones that the Druids.
Druids. I remember you pronounced this.
Druids, yeah.
Druids. Druids. Stonehenge.
Okay.
Druids.
I'm
Like,
with you.
I remember reading stuff about them having this. It's actually got a name. This
Oh, Stonehenge, right? Yeah.
This sexual something with nature. A sexual attraction to nature and or having sex with nature or whatever. Like, so I've definitely heard of it, but it's not like I'm Mr. Wikipedia where
it's cool.
I could pick up, I could draw for a phone, but that'd be disingenuous.
No,
that'd be me like saying, "No, no."
for me.
Do you know what I'm saying? But that's why when I say to you, bro, look it up. It's not like me boying you saying rare, but it's the fact that I'm confident that you're gonna find it and see it. I know you said you look, but I don't know, man.
No, you've done. Look what you've done to me. You've pointed me in the right direction to go look. That's what I'm saying. To me, when I have conversations with people, I'm like, yo, if you point me in the right direction, now I can go research. Like, yo, just swear down. That's what you said for real. And this is the good. Now I have the information because I'm a teacher naturally. That's I have to go get the information and say, yo, this is what I found. Can anyone dispute? That's what philosophy. That's what scholarship is. Can we dispute this based on what someone else said? Do you understand? So I'm with you. Now you give me something to go actually check up on, and I'm gonna check up on that. That's lit.
And then we're gonna come back next week, and you're gonna apologize.
I gotta apologize like that now. No, not to that. Say, come on, somebody say something.
So, Cherie, like, I still didn't I didn't hear from you about what you thought freedom was.
We're not like an hour in maybe, you
No, obviously, everyone goes.
I don't know, but I'm not free. I would like to be. But my freedom and your freedom might be two different things. So.
But why do you know that you're not free? What's your freedom? Yeah.
I'm a lot freer than I used to be, but I can never turn around and say I'm free. That would be yeah.
Why is it weird to be free?
No.
Or for you to turn around and say that you were free?
Because I know I'm not.
Would you know if you were free?
I don't know. You tell me. No, you can't.
She will step that one a little bit. She's like, you tell.
What is freedom to you then? What would freedom be to you?
My closestness to freedom would probably be to not exist on this earth and be dead. But in the most non-emo way as possible.
I like that.
Do you believe in the afterlife?
Actually, I'm with you on that one, actually.
Do you believe that the spirit goes on or do
I
you
would like to
think-
believe that. It would be amazing to believe that. Like, I would love to know that there's an infinite something. Because that to me would make me feel better. But whether that's it.
Why would it make you feel better?
Well, I say feel, but again, feelings is like a whole different thing as well.
That's what I'm thinking. How
So-
would knowing there's an infinite affect this life?
Oh, that's what you majorly with.
I think I am a being with so much feelings, and I think I depend on my feelings quite a lot, and I don't know if I'll ever get to a place where I don't feel. So I can only use that to what I am. And
So please say that one more time. That should blow me, right? Say that again. Please, if you can remember what you said. I didn't catch last
you
week.
want to just stop and press play?
You remember it? You remember it? You can't remember the school.
She's just flowing, man.
No, because I tend to. I'll remember. Okay, sorry. I didn't catch that last one. Sorry, my bad. I'll look.
What was your question? Go on.
I love Joey though.
Lost in the moment.
No, it was feelings.
Feelings.
Sorry,
Because
You say that you don't think you'll get to a point where you stop
don't
feeling.
I was saying that I'm a human with feelings, and there's not going to be a point where I don't feel. And if as far as I know, there's not going to be a point where I stop feeling that I'm made to feel. So I have to depend on that to some extent. Whether that becomes unbalanced or not, I don't know. But I have to do it.
But even
I'm
when
with
I
that
said,
shit.
how would knowing there's an afterlife affect this life? You said it would affect you. Made you how? I
Me,
don't.
but just me
I
personally,
like that.
I'm seeking an infinite truth. So that's me.
Yeah. No,
Infinite truth, as in, it's the biggest, there's no truth truer than it.
As in, beyond you, I want more than you that existing, sitting in front of me right now. And that's beyond, like, I'm not taking drugs or nothing like that.
I like her disclaimers.
Drug free.
Drug free. Nah, it will. Do you know why it will? Because look at what Christianity did for people that went underneath the auspice of a man in the sky judging. Look how it changed their whole way of living because they.
Are you a Christian?
No.
So how can you speak for Christians?
I was one. I was one once. So if you when I was under Christianity, it changed the way I lived because I believed that there was a reward and a punishment. That's what I believed. It changed how I treated people. I didn't treat you good necessarily because I liked you, because I could have thought you an idiot, but it forced me to treat you good because of fear of retribution. So I had to behave a certain type of way.
No, well, you had a choice.
Right?
Yeah.
Now...
And you're a fan of law and order as well.
That's all nice, isn't it? So when you're a Christian, this is where I can tear apart this Bible, I don't really want to do that. Yeah. But the reality of it is that the Bible will say, I've given you freedom of choice, but if you do bad, I'm going to punish you. That's not choice to me, that's rubbish. I can't tell my son, if you stay here or move, I'm going to do this or the other, right?
Is that not choice?
That's not choice.
It's choice.
No.
The choice is you're giving him.
No.
It's not choice.
That's it. No, that's control. You said
it's
earlier,
control.
manipulation.
But it's still choice.
It's direction.
I mean,
it's not choice.
But listen, listen.
True choice.
It's still choice. It's still choice. What you've done is limit the choices. You've told him this. He could choose. Well, give him the two choices.
When you limit,
give him the two choices.
The two choices are, you can stay here.
Yeah.
And chill out.
Yeah.
Or you can go outside. But if you go outside, I'm gonna beat you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
to me, I've left him with no choice
but to stay outside. But he could choose to go out and get. But yeah, he don't. But he could choose to go out and get the.
He can't. That's not an option for him.
He can though.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
You're gonna say I'm going out and I'm gonna take the beating, even though you don't want it.
Yeah. I was totally saying, but you have to understand, like for just the sake of the human experience, when that happens to you, yeah. You can choose to do whatever you want as a possibility. Because choice, now I understand choice means about possibility. I get it. There is a possibility that you can do that. But I'm saying, I put fear into him.
You have, yeah.
Which is now controlling how he chooses.
Not necessarily. No, it's influence. It's influencing. It's influencing. Because it's not controlling totally.
Listen, it's influence. Influence is a form of control.
Yeah, it's a form, but it's not total control.
I'm not saying total control. I'm saying it's a form of control.
Influence.
But when someone has fear, do you not understand what fear is?
People commit crimes.
So when they're not scared, they don't have fear.
I've done lots of things.
They don't have fear. They don't have fear.
I've done lots of things I'm scared of. In fact, I've probably done more things I'm scared of than things I'm not. Because as soon as I find something I'm scared of, I go and try and do it.
People always say, I've done things I'm scared of. Listen, in the moment which you act upon it, the fear has been removed.
No.
No.
What is fear?
No, I tell you what it is.
What is fear?
I tell you what it is.
Go with levels.
I tell you what it is. No, bro. Listen. The moment you act upon it, the fear has just been minimized. You've taken back control of the fear. It still exists because it's an emotion. Yeah. So even though you were scared, you are now mastering that, and you get to a point where you can turn that fear and turn it into your motivation, rather than something that inhibits you.
You're turning when you start. Fear is something, that paralyzes choice.
Can paralyze choice.
Now,
it can.
That's fine.
But then there's different degrees of fear.
That's fine. I'm just coming from
and there's different reactions to fear.
There's different degrees of fear. That's cool. I'm saying,
that was such a disregard. Like,
I'm saying that's cool. I'm saying, because you're telling me stuff I know already. I'm saying, in the everyday life that I've seen, when you talk about Christians, or when you talk about Christians, that's the concept we're talking about. So I don't know how we went over it. The concept was about Christians,
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Or religious, right? So now, when I was a Christian, I'm saying what I learned from other people is I inhibited the fear and I inhibited everything from the teachings.
It's not true.
So what I'm saying is, when you say you're a Christian, if you're saying if you do something bad, I'm gonna put you to hell, and if something good, I'm gonna reward you.
It doesn't say that definitely.
No, I'm saying it doesn't say definitely word for word.
No, but it doesn't really.
But it does say that whoever don't believe shall perish and not have everlasting life. So it actually says that.
It's a lot broader than just that, though.
No, that's what it says. We can take it how we want, but that's what it says.
But it's just like you saying, like, fear controls like your actions, like, and then someone else said something, and then you said, all right, yeah, cool, you know,
I know where he's going. Yeah, I know where he's going with it. But does fair not control? Well, this is what I'm saying. Control. He said levels. Because fair not control actually.
No, I'm saying it's the same thing you're talking about the Bible. Your experience with it,
Yeah.
your understanding about Christianity is still just
That is that's all.
You
still just
finishing the sentences like you know you're going to say.
No, I'm not finishing this sentence actually because I'm saying
I'm
saying the same.
it's still limited down to your experience and what you've seen.
But that's
what you
all
understand by
religion
it.
is individual experiences when it boils down to it. Because the actual book will say one thing, it doesn't say multiple things in terms of when it comes to that particular. If you perish if you don't believe in me.
But then,
now you can take that and believe what you want.
interpretation, like me getting up and
So what's the
walking out,
point?
one person will say, he's in a rush. Another person say, he's angry. Another one will say, he's upset. That's interpretation.
So my point, we're talking about actually, this is what I'm saying. We're talking about words. Let's stay within that what the word
but
says.
even a word.
So when you're reading something, would you say it has an intent?
No, it does. But no, it
Does it have
does.
the
No,
intent?
it does. But what I would say, just wholly against about the book, wholly is that yet there is so much. So say 3 million people are reading this book.
Right.
I would say that there would be a large number of say different interpretations just of that one book.
Absolutely. That's what we have.
Even one sentence.
Yeah.
There will be many interpretations. Now, what's the one true one? I don't know.
So cool. Does it not control? Will you not say that religion controls?
But exactly.
How?
Yeah, but down to control now. If there's many interpretations, what is this controlled in?
Because the person who wrote it had intent that was not you.
Say if you're being controlled, say by fear, I must do this, and then another person is behaving sort of much more say frivolous and free, but yet their guidelines is the same.
God, bro. I'm not making this up. The Bible says fair God.
But then some people
that's why I said that.
Some people say
reverence.
Some people say fair reverence, respect, and how you approach. To say there's stories in the Bible, say of David.
Yeah.
David's behavior. David slept with another man's wife. He even killed the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, killed the guy just to be with the woman. But yet, in the Bible, he's described as somebody that's after God's heart. To say, the way his character is described is that he was open and honest about his flaws, his wrongs, what he recognized as in to say his limitations as being a human being.
Right.
So he was still regarded highly, but yet this guy caused a mess in a lot of places that he went in. Now, you would say, but not say you would say, sorry.
I probably would,
to somebody to say that it believes describing the Bible in that way, this person he doesn't fear God. He's not a believer in God because look at his actions and his behavior. But yet the Bible describes him as someone that is after God's own heart.
Ain't that just a contradiction?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say just down to definition, the openness and honesty of him knowing his limitations and flaws and what he has to rely on to become a better person. To say the guidelines within the Bible, if you live by them, like you were saying, it was making you a better person. In a lot of ways, I understand what you're saying. In a lot of ways, I get what you're saying. Because whereas I would have a problem with that individual, because of the Bible's guidance, I chose a better version. On which I follow you.
When you was a Christian, was that your religion then?
That was my religion, heavily.
Did you choose?
Sorry?
Or was it your parents?
My parents passed it on to me, but I chose to carry on.
And is it your religion?
Not now, that wasn't
No, but I even have a problem with the word religion, because even the Bible itself, it's in there where it says true religion is this. To say, when you're dealing with widows and orphans and doing something, they say that's true religion. So even the word religion is being taken out of context. To say that the way we believe it. So
right. But I feel like we're running a parallel line, but we have a lot in similarity in terms of you have so much interpretation, and we don't know what the true intention was. That's why when we come from a journey of what control was or what freedom was, I'm like, well, you can't be free until you know the truth about something to a degree.
But then we can't say Christianity and this is controlling.
No, but I have to say that based on the fact that man wrote it. If man wrote it, I got to go that way. It is controlling because had you been left alone, had you been left alone, do you not think man is very, same like Jed's been saying this, self-governance, do you think you not know innately what was wrong, what was right?
Wait, when I'm going back to my original point, when you say freedom and stuff, I don't even believe it's again interpretation. But I think that we're not free by any means, as in to say we're always governed by something.
1000%.
Like we're also then you look at the Bible, it's controlling. You look at your parents, it's controlling.
Yeah.
We're looking at this civilization that we want to build or we want to live in.
Right.
It will be controlling in some way. We may more agree with it, like together. Like we may all be on par, like to say, yeah, this is the way we want to live.
Yeah.
But it will still be controlling because there'll be guidelines and ways and things that we have to do, like for
Absolutely.
us to kind of live solution, innit?
No, I love that. Absolutely.
Whose law is that?
No, but I'm saying
No, that's
it could
everything.
be
Like
even
universal law
stars. Like
will govern you. So
that's still controlling. Like when the sun comes out and the rain comes out, and
it controls how
it's
we
still
interact and
it's
behave
still
through astrology
controlling.
and stuff like that. So I feel you. The only difference is I believe is that people that are spiritual, people like that, are much aware. More than if you talk to someone from my parents and when I talk to them about the Bible, they completely refuse to accept or acknowledge.
No, but you're talking
that,
to me though. I'm saying I'm a Christian. I believe, and you're talking to me, and
Okay, fair
you've
enough.
heard the way I talk
yeah.
and what
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things that I believe in. It's like
individuals, you have a different perspective
I
based
know the
on
limitations
saying.
of somebody saying, I'm a Christian, and this is what and like they can be very just narrow-minded. Like, but
So what makes
yeah,
you a
people
Christian?
That's it.
What makes you a Christian, based on the fact that you have your own perspective anyway on the book anyway? What makes you a Christian to say identify with what that is? What makes you that?
Because I believe like the book is true. That's what I believe. And because the word Christian is just used in the book and it is described of these people, these sort of people who follow this way, then I would, so people could understand.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
The word Christians in the Bible.
Yeah, it is. But it wasn't used as in to say, I am a Christian.
Yeah.
It was more, those people are Christians because they follow this way.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that as I'm...
Is that in the New Testament?
Yeah. As I understand. No, but even
that would be in the New Testament.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, but we can discuss that.
No, I'm happy you did that, you know, because that brought clarity, because you have to understand as well that this is one, well, supposedly one book, but we do know there's different versions of it, and when you change one word, you change completely what it might intend to be. But the point was made was like, it can be controlling in a lot of ways to majority of the people. If we're just looking at just someone at majority level, people take it that way, but then you have a lot of people as well who don't just take it word for word. Because what you have is, in the general public, when we meet, when I was a Christian, I tell people like, don't do that, you're going to go to hell, right? That was my mentality at one point. Then it evolved into somewhere towards where you were, which was like, listen, let me not get crazy with this thing. Let me understand from my perception, by His grace, I should understand and get revelation.
Do you think it's fair-based, though? Do you agree that it's fair-based?
I don't think it's fair-based. I think
Book of Revelation is a freaking horror story, bro.
You know what
I mean, though? You get where I'm coming from.
But it's the reality of life, though. It's like to say we turn on the TV and all we're struck with is things like scaremongering, innit? For us to be conditioned.
Yeah, and it's true. It's scaremongering there, and it's still in the Bible, scaremongering. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's fair-based, though.
I
think there is things in there that can kind of make you think or make you scared or make you want to be a certain way. There is things in there, but then it's like, the belt does that, innit? Like, you don't wash up the dishes. The belt does that as well. But then, it's a correction. It's a way of like instilling discipline into you.
Because I prefer
to be a certain type
if you
of
govern
person.
yourself and you've been left alone with your connection to what you observe in nature, what you see, you can see compassion. You can see all these things.
Impossible.
You know what I'm saying?
It's human nature.
Because what you
It's
see.
human nature
No, but
to
what
have
you
those
see.
attributes, to have those things.
Exactly.
When you look at Christianity and you look at other books, religious books, you see when it was created and the time it was created, and it was created in a time when there wasn't internet, things like that. It was used to control people, to manipulate their thoughts and how they conducted themselves.
But we're speaking a language that created before internet and stuff.
It can be seen as fear-based because of some of the words that's actually in it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, for me, I worked at a Christian festival, and you won't believe that these people are Christian.
No, I know that's
because they're hiding. They're hiding.
He's saying
behind this thing.
I read in the Bible when it said that if you're trying to discipline your child and your child doesn't listen, you brought them to the congregation and try to speak wisdom, and the child doesn't listen, it says stone the child to death.
No, but we can break the.
No. This is the problem.
I'm not going to dismiss that, but
this is
then
the problem.
We're talking about Old Testament, New Testament.
Here's the problem, though. But here's the problem.
Why is the book changing if it's so holy?
Wait.
Do you see the Quran change? You don't see these books change. You don't see these. They have never changed. They have not changed. It might have gone into English, but it has not changed. Why has the Bible changed so many times?
Yeah, you're the mission. My brother, please do. Now, we can't dispute the whole what's in the Bible. I'm just saying, when you have what's in the Bible, you have to understand. It's like saying a beautiful point that was made about the children, right? When you offered all these things to the children, right? And we were talking about that. So I look at, when it comes to high levels of insight, I look at human beings that were still children. We still don't grasp a certain type of perception of reality. So I'm like, so you go to the public, this book, right? Now, the public ain't prepared for what's inside this book. Now, you've left it to take it how you may. That's dangerous. It's like me saying to my child, play with this thing, but I don't give him the manual. I don't tell him.
Defining
the
Bible and Christianity. And what
I'm not defining it. I'm saying that's what happened. They were given a book to people who are unsuspecting and left to their own devices. But that's why we have 16 different churches, isn't it?
Time. No, that happened.
It happens to this day.
Can I ask you a question?
So we say?
I rock one religion.
Can I ask you something? As a black person, how do you feel being a Christian, knowing how Christianity was used to enslave your ancestors? How do you feel knowing that you are still worshipping the same people that you had to read for 400 years? You could not read nothing but the Bible. How can you now, in 2017, be proud of what you believe in and what
I'm not
it
proud
created?
I don't even like that word. I feel fine because it's just like I can use this table to smash over somebody's head. I can use the table to sit down and eat my food. Like people use anything, like to say when these guys are going around saying, "Oh, I'm Muslim and I'm going to blow up myself." Like, and all this white and black stuff, like to say white Jesus, black. I'm not. There is no color. Again, we can go into the Bible and discuss Christianity if we want to.
Jesus
like to say,
is
and
black in the Bible.
I'll tell you exactly what I believe. Like,
Do you believe Jesus is black?
It's black in that Bible, bro. They described that.
No, his description, it didn't necessarily say black, but it was someone of a black nature. Like, it didn't necessarily. It wasn't
semantic in now, right? Stop.
No, but come on.
My nigga.
What do you mean
the
black?
right?
To say his hair was woolly. Like to say his skin
Why?
was whatever colour it was. No, I know, but I'm saying again.
Don't be politically correct.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know.
No. What is here? Basically, what I'm picking up from you is you got your opinion, but in Joe's fashion, you're just putting out there what is written. You don't want to lean too much on your own opinion when describing what's in the Bible.
Yeah, because I can't just start saying, look, Jesus is black, so now I'm gonna be up in arms against all these pictures that's got white Jesus. I don't know.
Do they offend you? Those pictures offend you?
No, of course, because it's not true. Yeah, because I just think that's not Christianity.
Yeah.
Like that's nothing to do with it. Like when a man's walking around with his big hat on and calling himself cardinal and all that, these words are not even in there. Like to say,
you subscribe to the politics of the Bible. You take what's there in your own fashion to find
not in my own. Not in my own.
So what do you take it as? What's written?
Not in my own. It's like, again, I believe in a higher being, a higher power, however you want to describe it, God, whatever. I believe in that, and I believe it's only in that and in tuning myself into that I would be able.
You're a new age guy.
No.
You're a new age guy.
You're a new age got you picked. You're a new age you picked. You're a new age.
No, I love how this guy thinks. My uncle's a pastor, yeah? And this is how I catch this new age people that they're trying to do. This is slick shit, right? I sit in the church. I remember at a time and point, like grew up in the 90s, yeah? Christianity was clearly defined for you, bro. So when you want to come out in 2017 and act like in my own spirituality, what?
I'm not saying in my own. No,
you said in your own.
No. I said for me to understand this, I know I need God. Right, plain and simple, I need God to understand
the God of the Bible.
What is written. No, I'm not. I need God.
God of the Bible. What God is this?
I need God.
What God is this?
God that exists.
So what God in the Bible?
I'm not saying my
God in the Bible.
Your God. I'm saying.
What about the God in the Bible?
I'm saying to what I believe. I'm just saying to what I believe. How can you limit what I believe?
No, I'm not limiting because the Bible does that. The Bible. That's it.
I'm saying what I believe.
But the Bible is clear on who God is, so you can't come with your own God and act like it's separate.
I never said it's my own God.
He's avoiding. I'm not hearing what you're saying.
He needs God to interpret.
Yeah,
what God are you talking about? Because the Bible has a distinct God in it.
God, Jehovah, the one that is described.
Thank you, sir.
Bible.
Thank you. That's what I want to know.
The way you're saying
it's
almost,
the Bible.
No, it's almost like putting it over here. And then
we
you've
have
got
to,
them-
because the God in the Bible is not who I look to.
What
So I
does
have
it
to put
matter?
him over here.
Huh?
What does it matter?
What does what matter?
What he believes.
Why does it matter to him?
Yeah.
No, we're trying to discuss whether or not the Bible
That's
controls
it.
people.
That's
what we are. We're saying,
Why does it matter, man?
that's what we're saying. So I'm saying part of control is saying, if we're just talking about just the God of creation or the grand architect, yeah, that's one conversation. But the Bible's
Look, now
built.
you're separating, but I don't
I have
I
to
won't
separate because the Bible distinctively describes God in a specific way. So you can't. How can you not differentiate the two? Allah is not the same.
You would describe
in terms of how the
that's why
book
I
does it.
believe in God, but I can't say I'm a Christian.
No, but
I
wait,
don't
but you would
assign to
describe
that.
God in a specific way too.
I can't. I don't.
No.
I've never described
God
God
is
in my
the
personal
creator.
opinion. I'm saying the
That's
Bible.
But that's a description. Like,
What?
even down to being a creator.
God
That's
is
a-
unknown to
that's
me.
a-
The creator's unknown. The force is unknown. Wherever it is,
But
it's unknown
that's
to
a
me.
description.
Right?
No,
So
That's a specific.
no, describe
That's some
it.
new age shit. That's some new age shit right there, man.
That's it. She's back in the ticket. When you start saying description, yeah, you're adding character. You're adding light
Unknown
to what
is
that is.
being unknown
So-
is a character.
No, I know. I didn't say being unknown. Unknown is not a character. So I said I'm not describing. I can't say. We asked you what is it? I don't know. You're describing it. No, how am I describing
that's
it?
a
I don't know what it
descriptive
is.
word you was using
What?
though.
Unknown.
You said unknown.
Yeah.
God is unknown. That's a
Yeah,
descriptive word.
yeah. When I'm using it in that context, yeah, you're right. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying the Bible. I have to give a distinction because when the Bible describes God, if we're saying his description, the Bible describes
Which
God
Bible?
specifically, the Christian Bible.
Which Bible?
I don't know. Okay. King James. King
Yeah,
James.
but then, okay, so then
I talked about King James right now,
if you
because
don't
I'm
read from the King James, then that don't apply to what he's believed. So if he's just reading from the Injil, or he's just reading from I don't know the.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say the Bible are the same.
Orthodox.
I'm saying the Bibles are the same unless you can tell me they all change.
Are you asking him questions to change his mind?
Absolutely
or are you
not.
asking yeah.
No, absolutely not.
There's
No, just to
change-
learn because I love where his headspace is at. So I just want to learn how because I've heard this rhetoric
But it
similar.
sounds like you're unsure though.
Sorry?
This is good.
It sounds like
Loving
you're
it.
Now I want to learn
Headspace.
his perspective. So I'm unsure. You're right. I'm unsure because I'm trying to learn because I find it fascinating. It's
But
fascinating.
you've been
me.
there though, so
Sorry.
you understand too because you've been there.
Yeah, I've been at a low, way away from the frequencies. I was
So
at
you
lower,
understand it, though.
and I was one of them. I took it literally every 2 minutes, but I'm saying he's at actually more advanced place where he can differentiate
But
what is.
how do you get to decipher what's literal and what's not? If it's all allegory and symbolism and
It's not all, though.
or it's not, but
Yeah,
if it's mixed up in allegory and symbolism, you don't believe it is allegory.
I think you can as well because it's.
There's a lot of stories that
It's designed
that
like
are
that.
parable.
No, but was it designed like that, or is that just a coincidence?
I don't know.
You
I think
understand?
I think it's
Like
even
when-
down to I'd say like our being is like almost like it's like a reflection of say like the universe as well and like planets and our brain and you know like all these things. It's like even in looking at that, this is a literal thing. It's a literal physical thing, but yeah, it represents say like the universe, the solar system, and so again even
Yeah, but
all
the universe, the universe is not a concept in the Bible.
No,
at all.
I know,
You
but
wouldn't hear a lot of Christians say what
The
you're
universe,
saying.
wait,
the
I've
universe
had
is new.
conversations with Christians about that, and that sort of thing you're saying they wouldn't even fathom.
But
Do you know what I mean?
it's-
So
Universe
again, it's
and planets.
different.
The Bible don't say nothing about planets either.
Alright, yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, for real, because I'm a bit iffy about planets.
Yeah,
That's
you
not
know,
100,
yeah,
that's not
exactly.
yeah, but a lot
100%.
of the time,
It's also about the stars, though.
Yeah,
a lot of
wandering
the
stars.
time-
Wandering stars,
Wandering
that's it.
stars.
A
Cool.
lot of the time when it comes to religion and stuff, like in Christianity, yeah, it's like to have faith. So even if something's in your face, like the universe, because I've spoken to people when I start
not in
talking
your
about
face.
astrology, they're like, no, like
Astrology doesn't have anything
And-
to do with the universe.
huh?
Astrology don't have nothing to do with the
sorry,
universe.
but the cosmos, yeah. Like speaking about that, they don't understand it. Like they don't see how that can affect them. But it's like that's already there. So how can you have that blind faith to something that's not even there? When something
Yeah, but
there,
you're
denying
interpreting.
it.
But astrology is faith as well. It's not fact.
What do you mean?
Astrology, the practice of astrology, like the young lady was saying.
Zodiac and all that.
Yeah, that's a belief
I
system.
think everything
That's not
is,
fact.
though. I think
Get me?
everything is. Everything
You know
is,
it is.
Everything boils down to faith.
Star
Even-
signs are a belief system. It's
Yeah,
another
definitely
religion.
a belief system,
But
It's
but
another
but
religion.
It's based
Science.
on science.
So
as well,
not
because
science, not
you actually
science.
see
No, it's
positioning
not
and you
science.
see-
Scientism is a religion. Science is science. Science is what we can all do to prove something is right or
But
wrong. Yeah?
again, like what that guy said when he went, there was a point where through science they found out, okay, this is how this is made, or this is how this is constructed, or this is what this is.
The method.
And then 10 years down the line, they've now
because that was scientism.
discovered.
That was because that was scientism.
No, but I think science is a thing that we may never even get to the bottom of.
Yes.
Like to say, it's like
there's this.
Science is testing.
Science is just
testing
a
the theory. Methods
It's a
of testing the
method
theory
of how to quantify existence.
But through the tools they have available now.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time,
that's real.
It's the constant testing that theories to make sure it stands up to reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what we are dealing with when we talk about scientism, we're dealing with some old school ideas that we have all been forced to latch onto, or not forced, but it's been suggested for us to latch onto, and it's been now perpetuated as reality. Stone cold fact.
So that's true.
And
that's true. Me and him on, as I said, me and him on a parallel because we do the same thing. If you go out here and talk to any Christian, they won't know what the hell he's talking about like that. They will not. They will not agree.
You can't say any Christian.
Sorry, Majority.
You can't speak to majority. The ones you've encountered. This is the thing, fam. It's what you've come in contact with.
Majority.
Doesn't a lot of like worldly sort of wisdom come from the foundation of the Bible anyway?
No, that's not true.
Where does it come from?
I can go to my culture and find the same thing, more advanced in my culture. It has nothing to do with that.
I'm asking.
I'm from Australia. I'm a Mende tribe. We link to the Dogons.
Okay.
And my history goes deeper than any Bible in any Quran. And I could know about the celestial and the science way before.
No, but then even that though, you know, like when something can't be proven, and I'm not saying you can't prove it, but you know, like say like someone says, "Oh, my tribe has existed for 1,000,000 years," and people say, "Oh, the Bible existed for 2,000 years," and it's like, really, we can't really. There is no. Like, we can't prove it.
Yes,
like,
you
we can't.
Of course you can.
No, but wait. Can I just say one more?
Yes,
can I say one more thing? Because all we're gonna go back to.
What are we going back to?
All we're gonna go back to is something that was either written, or an artifact, or like say, or like maybe say word of mouth, say culturally, or you know, like something that's being passed down.
Right.
Now again, to like validate, say. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, like this is certain. Like, I don't think that's possible. Again, like we were saying with science, if I have this tool and I look at it and I say, 2 million years, and then 10 years down the line now I say, 1,000 years. Like, again, we're basing what we believe on, say, something, and we're saying this is fact to us. But I'm saying, to me, I say, that's it. It can change. So I can't say that.
But then it's like
me.
I get what you're saying. That's
where everything I
sits
believe.
on.
Everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think being ignorant not to even at least entertain that idea. You have to, because things change and evolve. But what I'm saying is, for there to be an actual life where we get up and go and move, we have to say, well, this is read onto further notice. That's how I feel like. That's how humans move. I think where it's dangerous if you say, no, this is read forever and forever. Now you've gone a bit mad with it. If you know that this is read. But then we can say, but bro, it looks like a bit brown. It's like, okay, cool. Let's have this conversation. That's what philosophy is. To say, let's have the conversation until we can say, we agree. Because all fact is what the mass would agree to say. You know, so I'm saying, like, even when...
Not really.
Not really. Fact is what the self...
Not really.
What you're talking about is I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Maybe. What you're talking about is what is put out there as
it's society,
status quo,
status quo. That's what I'm talking about.
But this is like for instance, genetics.
Yes.
Is what is put out there as a status quo. However, there are enough people out there that have a contrary theory to it, and are credible. And then you think to yourself, who controls what is at the top of the trending? If I Google something right now, that's a metaphor for the way knowledge is put forward, Right. The top answer is usually the government-sponsored or the system-sponsored thing. In fact, the top 15. In fact, the top 100. Oh, you think you're slick. The top 1,000.
No, but even Googling, using Google.
Exactly.
You're already using their tools.
Exactly. But I'm saying, forget about Google. Library. Let's talk about library. Let's talk about the library.
There?
Exactly. But the library is saying the same thing. So then we move to where certain people talk about oral tradition, because whenever they want to talk about, we don't need books, they talk about orally. This is how you lot kept your record. And then I'm saying, we could do the Chinese whispers now. And that struggle to keep the same message. Let alone you lot saying that they orally.
So do you think history has no place in our modern day contextual. If we're going to say everything is Chinese,
I wouldn't say that. But it's obviously how.
Where do you value it?
How history works is this, yeah. For me personally,
like how would you value? Yeah, that's what I'm curious.
How history works is this, yeah. What is generally out there as the main consensus is usually a shit sandwich. Yeah,
that's true.
Which is truth, bollocks, truth. Yeah. So there's no way of scraping off that bread and clearing off the bullshit off it. Yeah. You're not gonna do that. If I put shit in between two pieces of bread, yeah, and then you said no, I don't want it because it's got shit on it. If I scraped off that shit and said, well, would you want it now? Would you eat it?
No.
Exactly.
If you're
that's like what we've got now with reality, yeah? It's already been contaminated with enough lie that they can give you truth. There's actually bread there, fam. You can have it. But it's still going to be contaminated because because there's a box that we have to all think from. So different religions, they all share the same prophets. The same, not all the same prophets, but the same angels, same belief system. But Abraham. That's those three. That's those three. Yeah. Three. Yeah. That's those three. Yeah. But then you find further links in the mythology between the Kemetic mythology and the Greek and the Roman and blah blah blah. Then you even find even further links when you're talking about people like the Dogon tribe in their belief in certain extraterrestrials or extra dimensional beings, because I think that's debatable whether they're talking about dimensions or whatever. But the fact being is, there's other people that believe that. There's other people that believe in a great flood.
You're saying which?
So at some point, I'm saying like I think it's all down to we're all working from the same pool, yeah, and just putting out different bits of what we want to use and what's suitable to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But
is that
still not? That's still not free.
Can we say the Twin Towers happened?
No.
We can't say Twin Towers happened.
We can say that there were buildings there that are not there anymore. Yeah.
So when I say the Twin Towers happened, maybe I was being too generalised with it. Can we say 2 Twin Towers that were there were destroyed to rubbles and no longer there?
Yeah, we can say that, but we can't say whether it's 2 planes.
No, that's what I didn't ask.
You understand?
But that's
a whole big deal.
No,
because if you think about that,
doesn't matter. Listen, the building's not there no more. That's where we're at with it. The building's not there. We can debate over it, but what we cannot debate, I'm trying to differentiate between objective truth and what we personally believe.
You can think the building's not there for one reason or another.
That's why I said subjective. I said objective truth is I've been to New York when it was there, and I've been to New York when it's not there. So I can say, bro, the fact is, it's gone.
In your lifetime,
you know what I'm saying?
Something in your
bro,
lifetime.
no, it's not in my lifetime. Come on, my G.
If you just said you went there,
I've been there both times. The building is not there.
Yeah, no,
Have you been?
I'm saying what I was talking about before is things that has happened, say, before us.
I know. I'm getting to that point. What I'm saying is, right now, we can say that building was there and it was not there, right? Now, when we write our books about our lifetime, Jedi can say, bro, there are no 2 planes when we need to bring it down. I can say, there was 2 planes to bring it down, right? And I'm trying to say the shit sandwich starts to form itself. Where the fact is, the plane's not there, but we get the other people that say, well, actually a bus went into it and blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying, there's an objective fact in there somewhere that will run through the story.
Which is the buildings are not there.
The buildings are not there.
Okay, cool.
So what I say, to bring my point home, please. Bring my point home. I think I've listened to Jedi enough to understand that he's standing on something that is very much to the core of human nature. In order for us to have an interaction of what a reality is, we just have to go what we can substantiate today and acknowledge it can change tomorrow. That's why I say that if you look at history, there's a running theme. When you talk to people from somewhere else in the world that had nothing to do with them man there in Google, that said, yes, this is it. Then you go to another man at the end of the world and say, yo, this is it. When you find a pyramid in China, you find a pyramid in Australia, and you ask them, and they all say it's for the same purpose, I can only say there's a fact. What else can I say?
No, but it's still subjective.
What can I say?
Because there's places that you didn't find the pyramids.
I'm not talking about those places.
There's more places without the pyramids than with them.
But the places you find them all have similar history when they say it to you. Because,
what do you mean similar?
For example, when I sit down with my Chinese friends that we study science together, right? And I asked about their traditional history. This is the first time I heard about the first 2 dynasties being black people, yeah? And I'm trying to say, is it true though? Because I mean, let black people not lie to me, because at least you lot are historians in your field of China, right? What I want for you, he said, the mainstream people, like most places, I'm sure, right? will not tell you. He said he found out 5 years ago that he had dark ancestors coming from the continent. Then I was like, okay, cool. What does that mean? Does that necessarily mean Africa? What continent are you talking about? He said, yeah, Africa, because I believe, he used the word believe, he said, I believe that my ancestors did come from that, because when I go into my village and go into the old statues, they resemble people from your land. Cool. Thank, hold that there. Went to America on holiday, spoke to a couple guys from Mexico. I was out in LA. I'm like, I want my studies. What do you lot scream about this thing like that they're talking about? Like in terms of like this Mexico and She civilization. He goes, yeah, oh Mexico, of course. I said, what is the pyramid for? What's all this for? It's to do A, B, C, and D. Bro, you're gonna have to try really hard after taking all that correlation, turn around and say, it's not.
It's not.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm not even disputing it because I've studied about say Black Chinese. One point I've always stood on though is like to say way back.
Right.
I haven't seen this land called Africa. Like to say it was given that name.
Down the line.
So even when
black, we know it's been given.
Even when we say like everybody comes from Africa, that name was given, so that location was given the name Africa. I know about say Black Chinese and like all the South Americas and all that, but then I know also way back the land shape was different.
Absolutely, yeah. The continental drift happened. So that means if people were on one landmass, the population is smaller. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because when we calculate just within our lifetime, meaning between us and our grandparents, they can tell you like, yeah, when you took the census, it went down. I mean, it went higher and higher every 10 years. Like more.
It makes no sense though. Right? That don't make sense. Now, because they lived for longer then.
No.
And had more children then.
No, you had a boom. You had a boom in babies. You did. You had that because you have to deny. Every time there's war in the world, when there's world war, numbers will decrease. Obviously. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you got people dying by the chunk in one go.
You have to have someone going around counting everyone in the world, then you can't do that.
But that's not even the way. That will never. Like if you're saying you have to go around the world and like it's like
you can't.
I don't have to go breathe air in every way to know air exists everywhere. I don't have to.
You can't know how many people exist.
Sorry?
You can't know how many people exist.
Okay, cool. That was not my point. So
but then you're saying population rises.
Yeah, it is. Population does rise and fall. I didn't say we have to go count everyone.
Who's doing the counting?
Population rise and fall. Even in the UK, even in America, or even somewhere.
That's a microcosm compared to the macrocosm of the population of the world.
Because the majority of the people are giving birth and having given birth certificate at the time matches the people that.
But there's bare people.
You can do that. There's not bare. There's not.
There's bare people that ain't got birth certificate.
You bring a lot more questions.
Birth certificate is new. I've got people that's got grandparents that ain't got birth certificate. Come on, bruv. That's new. Yes, that's new.
Bruv, you can have a birth certificate.
There's living people now that weren't registered. They didn't register to no company when they were born. They're free. They're freer than us. They're not on the stock market. Maybe in time they've signed up through, the system and blah blah blah. But that's
if you're not on the system, you're living off the grid. For sure,
it's not even off the grid.
You are because you have to have it to be on the grid. Because how else are you going to get your passport sorted?
Depends on what the grid is. Alright, so the grid is denoted as having a passport.
Being logged in the system, that's the grid.
Because you don't have a birth certificate. There's plenty people that are not.
When you say plenty in contraction
around the world, because we see all the time, we talk about indigenous tribes that live, they're not logged in the system.
You think people haven't gone there to go find out?
No. I'm not saying that they've never had contact from man, but what I'm saying is, I don't think they got social security numbers and
man from the Gerard tribe somewhere.
Floating on the stock exchange. Do you know what I mean? Maybe one or two people. I don't get it, but I think you go to these. They say these places are indigenous, and you go there. A man's got a Coca-Cola T-shirt. On. You know what I'm saying? Or the man saying, the man saying, "Rob, with his spears, they're saying, give us cigarettes."
He's got Arsenal jersey on.
But still, but
I know what you mean. We're not talking literally. We're just saying, like, with human beings,
you can't. The point I was trying to say is, you cannot. Honestly, with your brain, your scientific brain, you got to know that counting how many people on the planet or on the Earth, I don't think it's realistic. When those narratives fit, that's again history, subjective history. Those narratives fit certain things. Oh, the war, this many people died in this war, and this is how, and it's like all these bollocks numbers. Because these are the same people that say that this dinosaur bone is between 10 million and 80 million years old. Now, between
To be honest,
10
you don't believe in no dinosaur, no?
I don't believe. I'm not saying that there wasn't ancient creatures.
But you don't think they were dinosaurs?
I think dinosaurs or the big lizard or whatever it is. I think that there in itself is a whole different head top. We can get into that, but they're head topping you with that one because they're trying to link you back into this. Into Darwinism. It's back to Darwinism again. It's back to the theory of evolution. It's back to feeding into that paradigm.
But you know that it also exists outside of Darwin's way. Certain cultures talk about beasts.
Yeah, they can talk about beasts, but the dinosaur is a different thing.
I'm wondering that.
They find a bone, they find a tooth, and they build up a whole raft of
You can actually find something.
You find a tooth.
You can find a bone.
That's like finding my finger. Finding my finger.
I can trace you on this planet with just finding your finger.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying not trace DNA, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you've actually gone and built a whole model of a creature based on a couple teeth. And you're now telling me what colour its skin was, when you don't have skin samples there, what colour its skin was, how it bred, what it ate. And we all eat it. But when we go to the museum, what they're not telling you is every single thing you're looking at is plaster cast. There's no bones there.
You're gonna keep the real thing there, they're not, for sure.
Even the real shit is not allowed to be tested by us, normal people. They didn't start finding dinosaur bones until a couple years after Darwin proposed the notion. Or the other guy, I can't remember what the brother's name was, proposed the notion of the terrible lizard. I can't remember what it's called. Dino... something. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Then everyone started finding it. Then all of a sudden it's turned into some clash thing. I'm finding this, you're finding that. And then majority of them have come out to be hoaxes. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They're using chicken bone and emu leg and a bit of goat fire. And you could go and research this. Bare of them have been disqualified. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Now they're saying, you know that thing that we think is a triceratops? With the hexagon thing. Now they say, no, that didn't exist. We got it wrong. It wasn't a separate species.
Yeah. Well, they're always getting it wrong. That's the problem.
Because they're making it up, because it's a theory and they twist it.
It goes back to the word history. For me, history is simple. It's in the word. His story. Yeah. Simple as that. So everyone's going to have their history. It's just your story, your way of perceiving things. That's why it's all different from the Bible. History is just a certain culture's way of perceiving things.
But then that's what I was talking about. You know, say like we was banging on about the Bible, but I was more just saying
he was banging.
I was more saying that everybody's view of what they believe in is that exactly the way you described it. Like we're all pulling information from
somewhere, someone else's perception.
From something that to me can't be tested 100% because again, like science is continuously
growing and evolving.
Tools are becoming more and more, technical.
So with that, that's why it's about knowing oneself, innit? Because nature always stays the same, and that's why I always talk about the man who studies science and studies nature and can write a book and tell you how to live in nature. Then there's the Rasta man that's in the hills somewhere, literally living in nature. He might not be able to write the book and give you the theory, but the actual practical of everything.
He's doing it, he's living it, doing it.
Gear that, you know what I'm saying?
And you know, you even missed something because that's what we was talking about before, as in to say nature and how we can survive and stuff. But then there was one thing that came to my mind as soon as that was said, like to say, if we really watch nature and we see like the lion killing the buffalo, the dog killing the cat, does that mean that we're going to be going around trying to bite the head off something? I'm saying as a learning, because I do believe like the human being is far more advanced than say like an animal.
Yes.
Like for us to do things like to cook and to do all this sort of stuff.
To speak.
Yeah,
but that's not even. I think that's not more advanced though. That's more primitive.
Exactly.
No.
Think about it. That's more backwards.
True.
An animal, sees its
100%.
food, jumps on it. An animal sees its food, jumps on it, eats it.
Done.
Yeah.
No waste.
We see food. Yeah. We like right now how we're living. We go to the shop, we select it in
I'm
the
not talking
all right.
like that,
So then, all right. So we get food and we take this and we take that and we season and we boil it and but that's a process. Yeah. So we are not as efficient as they are.
No, we are because
we're not.
When we're eating
the meat, we're gonna clean it.
No. When you're eating what's not your food, that's when you do that. When you eat what's not your food, that's when you do that. When you eat your actual food, you can go to the actual tree and pluck from
Yeah,
nature.
you just eat it.
Yeah,
You just eat it. That's it. That's what I'm saying. That's better. I'm not
that
joking.
goes back to the rest of
That's following nature.
That's following nature.
That's following nature.
So I get what you mean. We've left that. It's like chicken and seasoning.
I'm not
salt on the thing.
But what? Yeah, we're trying to right back to the rest of man in the hills again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even when man's talking about, you see, when man's talking about like the whole, someone made the point about like human beings. If lions eat other animals, so it was a vegan point. You get me? They were saying if lions eat other animals, then why can't we eat other animals? But the guy made a good point. He said that like obviously if lions sniff each other's asses as well. You know what I'm saying? So we're not necessarily going to follow that.
Why not though? No, that's I'm not saying. But why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
not let's sniffing each other's asses, but we wear deodorant and that, innit? Yeah. No, we wear deodorant and perfume. Listen, brother, and we all use detergent on our clothes.
Where getting to know that person.
Yeah.
When an animal sniffs another animal,
that's how.
You are doing it in a way.
What we're saying is we're not looking at the animal doing exactly what it's doing.
But we should do now. But what I'm trying to say is
then pick what to take.
Brother, you see what I'm saying? The fact that you wash your clothes in Ariel today or whatever, the Noah, I'm just plugging bare. You washed yourself in that. So you're diffusing the clothes and the smell of your body already. Then you got deodorant, soap. I hope you use soap today. Deodorant, but that's deviating. That's moving from nature.
No, but I'm saying beyond that. No, beyond that. So I'm saying,
I'm not saying but
not with deodorant.
To clean yourself.
The rest of man's got a leaf. You get me a natural leaf, and it'll go in the stream. You get me, and it'll be running down. And
the way we live,
get me soaking.
No, but why I say it's advanced is again the Rasta man would still say pick a yam and boil it.
No.
Yeah, but that's cool. I'm saying through. Wait, I'm saying through understanding, he would know. I cannot eat this in this way, in this state. Yeah. I can't do this in this state.
Don't make it more advanced.
I will have to do like certain processes that an animal can't do.
The animal don't want it and don't need to. The animal.
No.
Swear that.
Video of a gorilla cooking its food.
No, but they would have had to learn that.
Jonathan, animals can tell you when earthquakes are about to happen. Can tell you when tsunamis are about to happen. So that's advanced. We as humans.
That's true. You see the Native Americans, yeah? You see the reason why them man was able to escape a lot of natural disasters is because they were that one with nature. You see when the buffalo start moving a certain way, and then see the birds start flying a certain way, everyone moves back, and then the earthquake comes, and then the man come back out from where they moved to.
Right. Why I believe that with animals is because I say, like what he's, I agree with him as well. Like if a bird or if something can sense something, then this is what it does. This is its purpose. It goes to the tree, it'll eat a nut, come back. This is what it's doing. It'll pick up sticks, make a nest. It will do that, and this is what it will do all day long. Whereas a human being will have a much bigger variable of what it can do within the scope of its life. Like, and that's why I say advanced. So I'm not saying just because we can't say
wait. Realistically advanced. You're talking spiritually advanced. No, you're not mismatched. Because we're talking about being at one with nature. Animals are naturally downbeat. All of them.
No, this is what's missing.
Because obviously, what's wrong with the world is it like if there was no humans, there'd be nothing wrong with the world. So we're the actual issue. So I understand what my man's saying.
Yeah, but also, hear what I'm saying.
I'd say we're all programmed in a way which is anti-Earth. You know what I'm saying? That's the way we're programmed. That's the way we're programmed. We might be programmed.
But this is what he's saying. This is what he's saying.
Out of that. But if we all watch TV and go to school and just follow the natural current, we're going to be anti.
Yeah, so if you look at a monkey, yeah. Look at the hominids, yeah. The hominid is the upright ape that they said was Tamil, right? Now, even at that point in time, he's variable. This is a very important keyword he used, variables, meaning the opportunities that you can realize or the ways you can utilize a tool is far more than an animal can, just even based on symmetrics of how our hands and feet are and how we bend and how we can move. That's all my man said in terms of advancement, saying that's what we have. What's the like a dog, for example, I believe, and I'm using the first time today I'm using the word believe, I believe like when an animal sees something, it's going to react based on the options presented in the scenario. Do you understand that? In the scenario, a human being can see beyond the scenario.
Yeah.
And do you understand what I'm saying? And make the kind of choices that animal.
You say that, but listen.
that.
You say that, but check this.
I said
out.
believe in
I hear that, but check this now. Yeah, I watch a lot of them survival programs and all that. I'm into all of that. And one thing I've seen a lot is an ingenious man that knows how to survive in the wild on his own, like in the roughest places. I'm not talking about no bullshit like Bear Grylls business. You get me? You know he's got a big trailer and that. I'm talking about a real thing. You get me? Real people that survive in this, and he will put out a trap, like you know, like one of them figure 4 kind of traps. Like he'll put out a trap and rare, and when he comes back, imagine that the trap has been triggered, but there's no animal and the food has been taken. So he does it in a different way. And yet again, what it is what you think with your intelligence you are smarter than these creatures, but a creature may instinctively do something that you haven't fathomed because you can't think like a creature. So then your interpretation, listen, your interpretation of being advanced than that, your interpretation of being advanced is nuts. Maybe this creature thought, you know what? It's actually worth me dying for this or trying because I'm that hungry. Or do you know what? I don't care. I know that something's spooky, but so you think you're smarter because you caught it, But the slave masters thought they were smarter because they were whipping the things. That didn't make it true. It's subjective to the way you want to look at it. So if you think you're more advanced than the animal kingdom, that means that you can do everything the animal can do and better, and you think that you wanting to do that makes you better. Because that could be a mark of your lessness. No, but the fact that you want to be better and think you're bigger. That's always animal's humble and does what it wants to do.
That's always. But one thing you said, like last time we were here, we were like, bro, if you leave mankind to govern himself, bro, and you put man against animal, which has happened, and we've out-survived these marks. You understand what I'm saying?
Because
a lot of animals got instinct.
Yeah, but there's a lot of races. There's a lot of races and people that are instinct. Where are the Tasmanians? Where are the Tasmanians?
This is what I'm saying.
They're gone.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Tasmanian people, another human being came and did that. I'm talking about when you can't survive nature. This is what I'm saying.
We're not part of nature.
We're the ones that have messed up
Listen,
nature.
no, fast. No.
We are part of nature.
No, hold on.
We and nature are one, no matter
We're the
what.
ones that are destroying nature for
There's a bunch
germs is nature, cancer is nature.
There's a bunch of species that have extinct that had nothing to do with human interaction. Their environment moved due to cataclysms.
And there's ones that did. And there's ones that did because we are part of nature.
This is what I'm saying.
There may be an animal that comes and extincts you.
Nature has never, listen to me carefully, has extinct a whole tribe, race of people. Nature's not done that. There's always survivors.
We don't know that because
here we go again.
You believe in Pangea. You believe in Pangea. Yeah, you believe in Pangea and violent geological effects of the earth. You believe in that.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
So is it impossible to believe that a whole island? We see the tsunamis and blah blah blah. You're saying that you don't believe. Obviously, there's people that believe in the Great Flood.
But we were talking about animals.
But there's people that believe in the Great Flood.
I understand both sides.
So there is a possibility of humans being extinct.
We have an animal-based instinct. We have a higher self, and we've always projected this.
But animals have a higher self.
I think
now, what is the animals
have a higher self?
You believe that?
You believe you have a higher self.
They're right.
But why do you think because you're a human that your life is more than an animal's?
He's not saying that.
But that can be perceived.
No one said that the animal hasn't got a higher self. Where did you get that from?
Importance is
Where did you get? Sorry, brother. Where did you get an animal not having a higher self from?
I didn't say those hands. I asked you, how do you know? So you believe that.
But do you doubt it?
Do I?
Do you doubt that?
No, whatever we call that animal's higher self, we don't even know it enough to even say that. That's what I'm saying.
So there's no reason to believe an animal has anything that we don't. It's alive, we're alive.
I say let's go back to the spiritual books, yeah? Like, obviously, man don't have to subscribe to the Bible and that to see the spiritual science.
He does.
No, I'm saying, but you don't have to subscribe
He does.
to see the spiritual science. Yeah? And then, like, obviously, at the beginning, it says that man was given the dominion over animals, yeah? But then that whole dominion, there's still a perception element. Like, Rastafari, when they looked at that dominion, they saw it as, like, we're meant to live at one with the animals. You understand? Like we're meant to look after the animals. They didn't see it as a thing.
Like
where
a caretaker
it was
kind of
about-
thing?
Yeah,
Custodian.
like servants,
people,
like
man.
kind of servants for creation. You get me? Not even just the animals, but the trees. You get me? But then there was a next element where people saw dominion
as being better and rolling over.
Being, you know
No,
what
but I'm not saying
no,
that.
I'm not saying you. I'm not
But
saying you.
advanced,
I'm just talking
advanced denotes
I'm just
better.
I'm just talking about perceptions.
It does.
Advanced means official.
Advanced, for me, advanced denotes better.
But I'm talking about perception, just from you get me. But obviously, I understand both sides because even there was that story about the guy who the buffalo, the lions, they get down the buffalo. You get me, and then one natural man comes out. You get me, and then when he comes over, the lions duck out. You know what I'm saying? And then, but they're still looking back. You get me? Like, you know, they're wondering. But in the time that they're wondering, he just take the machete and chop off a leg, and he's gone again with the thing on his back. You understand? But it just showed me that we do have a certain energy, but he wasn't coming there to attack the lions or take all of their food, or so he was at a oneness with nature. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I do understand the levels that we can.
Does that make us advanced though?
Like, it definitely doesn't. Not spiritually,
No.
definitely.
Oh, in any way.
Well, I'd say technology. Okay. If you're talking from a technology,
but technology is nothing to do with
right,
us.
that's what I'm saying. But
Technology is something.
So if you take that out, then definitely not, because then they are more advanced because they're at one with nature.
Why is technology nothing to do with
I know.
Technology is just a creation of man, right?
And that's the thing, is
Yeah.
that we need to
It's a
go back
description.
to that, to the instinct, to knowing nature, to when you're outside actually feeling the breeze.
Yeah.
Like, no, people don't do that. I do that.
That's why I love going out of
You
London.
can tell that it's gonna rain. You can feel it in the air.
Yeah.
People don't look up. That's the problem. People don't look up.
Yeah.
No, but why I would say that is like to say we're in a building that say like a man has created, like you know the same way a bird will make a nest, like but yeah, if you look at say our nests and our what we do, like the clothes we wear, the phones we're using, the technology that we're using. That's why I use the word advanced. Like I say, in the simplest form, the simplest
exactly
English.
but what he's seeing is
That's not advanced,
what he's seeing is there's a Rastaman somewhere. He's in the bushes. He has got none of this technology that we have over here.
And he's
But he's got the original technology.
Listen.
Even the way you use the toilet, your everyday, even the way you drink water.
Even you hear chronics and them man, because even in Gambia, there's a little hole in the toilet. Man ain't got no toilet. Man just go to a little hole and do a little spot and ready to tell you get me. So like from a perspective of growing up in this country, man might feel like that guy's less advanced, like because he's basically living. Like, no, what I'm saying, he's living the same as the like animals, like basically. You get me? He's living literally at one. But the reality is, there's a guy in a suit somewhere,
with a
working for
posh
some
thing,
big building,
a robot toilet that washes his back.
All this guy does is sign off for the destruction of this planet. That's all he does. You get me? Sign off things that destroy the planet. You get me? And this guy would be looked on from a certain perspective as more civilized than that Rastaman.
It's not even civil. I'm saying it's the same. I'm saying they're both the
How is it
same.
advanced then?
No, because they both have the same capability. We have the same brain.
But you're basing
It's
it
a
on. No,
capability.
you're basing the technology on using the capabilities in the technology.
No, I'm saying using the capability of the human brain
Yeah.
to be able to do this.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Animals
that
can't
the
do
man
this.
has.
Yeah,
but listen, but animals can't. But listen,
If they wanted to, they can't.
but here's the thing. But listen. Can you hold your breath? No, wait. Brother, wait. Just wait. Let's have a order. Let's get some order. Wait, my brother. Hold on. Hold on, my brother. So, can you hold your breath for 30 minutes?
I can hold my breath for 30 minutes, no.
Okay.
That's not my environment.
But an animal can. An animal that can share this environment, an animal that can breathe out here and do what you do, can also do more.
No.
There
was a story of a man that done something almost like that. I'm sure it was.
Okay, cool. What I'm trying to say is, listen, brother, hear what I'm saying. I'm not trying to diminish what a human's capability is. So I agree with you because I know humans are capable. I use that as an example just to say, look, just because you can do something that you perceive another being not to be able to do has nothing to do with being advanced.
You're oversimplifying it. That's not what.
No, it ain't. That's what you said.
No,
you said they can't create these things, technology, and you said that has.
and breathing on it.
That has nothing. Yeah, no, but listen, that's your idea.
It's two separate ideas. It's two separate things,
bro.
How you tell someone about breathing on
Bro,
and creating?
listen. I think, wait. Let me finish off this point properly, yeah? Because I don't think you're actually hearing what I'm trying to say, fam, yeah? We're talking about Russ Club nature, yeah? And you're talking about technology, yeah? And you're saying the ability to create technology, yeah, is an advancement over animals. And what I'm saying is, that's your brain, your human brain, saying that creating technology is an advancement, but when we look around and see the technology we've created and the technology that's out there, most of it is destructive. But most of it, all right, cool. But hear what I'm saying, yeah? The animal has no need or want for that technology, but the animal does stuff that you have no need or want to do. Right. So then it balances out, fam. Don't you see it? You invest your time and belief, and technology to you is something like, and in the animal kingdom, as soon as the electric goes out, majority of the technology that we are all wowed by is gone, and then you're back to their world, the world that they've lived in comfortably, and the world they're masters of. Get me? So we built our own arena to be masters in, which is civilization and technology. But we can do both. That's a separate arena.
We can do both. We can do both. Wait. He said we can be the Rasta man in the nature and still survive and choose something else.
You can.
That's the only reason.
But still, it doesn't make you advanced. It doesn't make you advanced because you can do that. Because you're assuming that that's a lack, or the animal is losing out or is missing something if it can't do that. You understand? And it's like
it's not about
you can't put that psychology on an animal.
I'm saying you can't, because all we're saying about animals, what we can quantify is what human beings think. We can't quantify what the animals think. We can make an assumption of what we think they're thinking.
An animal is more readily assimilated and built to grip its nature. And nature, we are far from that.
See, my dog sense is more certified than most humans, you get me?
Sorry?
My dog sense is more certified than a lot of humans, you get me?
Well, can we be just as certified?
Yeah,
that's my point. We can do all of it. We can do all of it. That's my point.
But he could be a shit dog as well. He could be a shit dog. Bro, I mean, he could literally be the worst dog ever. He could be a dog that he had to be put down straight away.
Survive in nature,
bruv.
Survive where.
Don't put your human characteristics, on an animal and then think that that's what makes you advanced.
All I was saying is what we've achieved as human beings.
It's a human endeavour. Nothing to do with nature.
I'm not saying good or bad. Because I agree, like what we do and what our choices, we say like our ability has been wrong. But I'm saying what we have achieved through us just being a being, like to say using our mind, and even with what's there around the world, like even down to from civilizations before us that still stand now. I'm saying what we've done as humans, it.
What is that though?
No, I'm saying why I use the word advanced. I'm saying it is a lot broader. I'm saying to me a lot broader to say what an animal does. Like
because you don't know the full spectrum. You don't know the full spectrum.
You might be like, yo,
you don't know what an animal does.
You might be like, if you was an ant, you might be like, yo, they're not creating some shit animal.
You don't know what an animal does.
With the water going down the side and the sun coming through, but that's an ant.
Perfect temperature.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying
animals create.
Listen what I'm saying. You're going to have to use your human brain. You're going to have to use your human brain to look at the animal kingdom and decipher what they're doing in the animal kingdom. And as much as you can do that to what you think, that's no comparison to what they're doing to themselves.
No, but I agree. But it's surviving. It's surviving.
We still have that mind to acknowledge that.
But we don't know that they don't.
That's my point. We don't know.
We don't know what an animal does. An animal in that sense is closer to God than we are. Because they're not preoccupied with that, or as far as we can see. You understand? Did you hear what I'm saying? The animal is closer to God. Do you hear what I'm saying? Because it's not it's closer to nature. It's more it's not preoccupied with the things that we are.
What is nature?
Nature is life.
Animal can't perceive the things that we can.
No, I'm saying we can acknowledge, observe, or perceive this conversation. So for Gerard to stand wise is showing the broad spectrum of what the human mind is. I'm saying we can only speculate in assumptions because you're not an animal. So you can only speculate when you got two people and assume from the same human mind your
when you got two people
do this,
and one of them is an owner.
Sorry,
listen.
The same mind you're saying is equal. Is the same mind that's telling you a dolphin. We can still observe and do things. Or we can say you're
But
not
you
an
know that
animal,
this-
so you can only make an assumption about what the animal is
well, then
doing.
stop making
That's
assumptions then.
That's it.
Don't make assumptions about them then. That you're more advanced than them. That's an assumption.
I said I'm advanced.
Chat about you. Ask him where chat about. Ask him again.
But dolphin and elephants use more than the brain than a human.
So they've made a. Who said that? Was it a human?
Yeah.
Right. That's my point. It's still a human mind is coming from. Everything was saying experience.
And
is
human
still
perspective.
one mind.
And human perspective. But it's failed. It's flawed. It's flawed when talk about animals.
Always goes back to a human. But even those facts here, you don't even say like, all right then, if I'm gonna go on the facts from this person, let me see what this person's about. You just say like, bring the information, and it's the information that's paramount. When really, you should go into what a person's about, man. You don't know what information.
We can't go into what animals are about. We're not animals.
This is the point I'm making. If I'm in a room
with my dog, and you're in the room with me, and you start getting all aggressive to me, and my dog spots that, he's jumping at you. He's gonna attack because he knows, he perceives that you're being
assuming that
aggressive.
you're not a dog, so you don't know what that is.
Why is he getting aggressive? Why is he getting aggressive?
Ain't that the same conversation we're having?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
From
so with his brother, so with his mum.
So what's perceiving something?
Joe, you're from the village. You've gone to the village in Sierra Leone in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Growing up in Ghana, the lady just even reminded me. You got mud huts like ant hills, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure the elders in your village will tell you the purpose of these mud huts is there to show you when there's water close by.
Yes.
Right? Animals. That's how we've all grown up. From what I remember growing up anyway in Ghana and whatnot, it was always based around the animals. It's always based around what the animals were doing. We follow them. It's based on theirs. It's based on them.
Even if it's not based on them, it's to try and get us to the level of what they. How far a wolf can hit, how high a bird can go, how deep a fish can go. We're all trying to emulate them. Get me? We're trying to imitate them.
Trying to imitate
that.
We'll cut off. We'll finish now.
It was like a dog for the head, yeah? And this was like the divine judge in the Kemetic history, yeah? I'm going to give you
because they go carry no way.
Yeah. So basically, they had a dog for the head. And the reason for that is because they basically, the dog was the judge. So when you go into Ba'ar and you're getting judged in the afterlife, the dog is the judge. You know what I'm saying? The reason for that is because dogs have good judgment. That's why they use the dog. The reason why when you're blind, so when you're blind, what do you use to guide you?
A dog still.
No, but exactly what he's saying. One last thing. Even back in the day when man them couldn't find water and that, they used to follow the dog because the dog sniff out water. You get me? That's why the dog has good. That's why they say.
But there's certain tribes that use plants as well. We use animals and plants. Like that to say, so it's not
just animals.
Yeah, but animals use us. Animals use us. That's why you got foxes and pigeons and rats and lice.
As a human, we've looked at all these things. We've observed all these things.
We think we do. We think we have. We do. We
Camera.
But other animals don't need to do that.
Who says so?
Because they don't.
That's the assumption.
They're not doing it. They're not doing it, and they're still. Are there animals there?
We don't know, bro. We know what we
pigeons
observe.
exist.
That's it.
But do pigeons exist?
What they call a pigeon exists, yeah.
So